Hey, hey, hey. Oh my goodness. I just went live in my members only live by mistake first. Uh, I might be a fucking delight, but we're still working on the professionalism. Hey, shorties. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, who have we got in the house? Thank you, Adam, for telling me I was in members only. I'm like, why? It says I'm live. Why am I not live? Yeah. I would otherwise, I literally went live dead on time. There's always something with me. So we got Nicole Marie in the house, Debbie Blair, what the duckling, Taryn, Prince Lover, Ernie Birdie, Adam, babe, hi, Poppy. Hi, Poppy. Taking the dogs for a walk this morning. My neighbours apparently are not impressed with the alleged dog barking when I'm gone. Fabulous. I don't know because I'm not here. They left me a note on my door last night when I got home at 2 o'clock in the morning, suggesting I give my dog some toys. Thank you. Thank you so much. They have every toy, all the toys, not even salty. LA's in the house. Yo, Ernie Birdie. Sammy set her alarm to be here. Thank you, Sammy. Where is it? There. Prince Lover. The song is a banger, isn't it, Nicole? Courtesy of our very own Turd Ferguson, aka Melissa Asylum. Song written and produced by Melissa Turd, and then the video done by my man Adam Drives Helen. Give them both a subscribe, please. Amazing content creators, amazing people. Moon Bunny, Sweetie, Brookshire, Christine K-Fan, hey, everybody's here. Jen T, Sharon Triffett, Prince Lover. Okay, Kerry's in the house. Kerry from the UK, huh? Sweet. Cat Randall, man, Cat Randall, not a lady, a man. Kimberlina, Michelle Smith, yo, woo, Uncle Frank's in the house. Hey, Uncle Frank. Anne is here. Oh my goodness, too many. Parksy, love you, girl. Curious Wendy, Kerry Hill. Oh my goodness, so many people here already. Are we pumped? Utter. Hi, peeps. Utter's here. Yes, Shorties, that's us. Camp Shorty. Miss Jess, hi, gorgeous. Linda Mitchell, hello, homies. Hello, homies. See, Poppy's showing. We have so many toys, don't we? We just very separation anxiety. Trust me, it's distressing for me also that my dogs have mad separation anxiety. It would grind my gears very hard if I was home all day and I heard dog barking all day, but I'm doing my best. Neighbours, I would go so far as to say that when you go out, neighbours, your dogs also bark the whole time, but they go out through the night because they're crackheads. Just saying. Salty Sea Glass, hi. Be Harmony, yes, yes, yes. My goodness, Tiff Knox is in the house. Hey, girl. Lisa Mal. Oh, my goodness. If I've missed anybody now, I am so sorry, but here we are. So, what have we got tonight? But wind it back. Last week, was it? Sometime in the last Time is a Flat Circle, we went over, mind blank. Somebody. Kerry Roberts, yikes. We had to talk, Kerry Roberts. Debbie Blair, hello. Debbie Blair, yes. We had to do some review of some less sexy, quite under-reviewed testimony from the Karen Reid trial, on trial for the murder of Officer John O'Keefe. Sham trial, right? Turds in the house, boom. Oh, I look amazing. Thanks, Linda. I got myself a whole bunch of new lip liners and lip glosses and stuff, and that's just me. And this one even, sorry, I won't talk lip liner, but thank you. So that was an interesting exercise, an interesting thought exercise, knowing what we know. Well, I guess we know now about those folk up there in Canton, and the sham, the framing of Karen Reid, the utter corruption, see what I did there? The utter corruption of, oh, stop it, you guys. I'm just an old bird from Australia, but thank you. Much appreciated. I do my best, yeah, in life in general. So we know now a lot of things that we didn't know even during the trial. I've watched all the days of trial many times. Get that off the screen. Who do I think I am? But I don't know how many times I've rewatched Kerry Roberts' testimony. Certainly Coco, Nicole Albert. I mean, obviously it's Brian Albert's wife, poor woman. Feel for her. Doesn't give her a pass on being involved in the cover-up of a murder of a human. Poppy, please. Baby. So I mean, this could be quite depressing. No offense, Nicole, but yikes. She's had a hard life, right? I think she's sorry, Yatta. Yikes. Oh, Pierre's here. Yay. Hi, Pierre. Good to see you. Thank you for coming along. Anyway, Nicole Albert. Obviously, we're going to have to stomach Mrs. Albert referring to the beloved family pet, Chloe, rest in peace, over the rainbow, in my opinion. Referring to Chloe as it. We're going to have to cope with her Packaday grey pallor. So very clear, I think, beaten down in life. Not saying she's actually physically beaten, but who knows. Demeanour, she seems like a broken woman to me. What the duckling? Ridiculousness in Canton. Yes. While I think of it, Saturday night, it's Thursday night for you guys, Friday here. We have a What's in the Water in Canton panel show with Nurse Kim, Scott McGuinness, and Aussie Insider. It's a bit of a reshuffle of a panel that was going to be happening. That one's been pushed to the next Saturday just based on availability. Hopefully we'll have Boozy Beauty, Reality Check, and possibly even maybe Olivia Nile. We'll see. Hi, Justus. Good to see you. Where is it? There we go. Plymouth Pugwuggy. So there's that Saturday night before Aiden, 7 o'clock Saturday panel, Aussie Insider, Scott McGuinness, and our girl Nurse Kim. And I'm also in the process of putting together me and Broken Baker, and possibly looking to try and snag OB, Dad, Oblivious Benson, for late Saturday night, midnight your time, Eastern. Oh, Charlie Lynn, thank you for gifting a membership. Thank you so much, and welcome. Thanks for being here. Wonder who got it. What the duckling? That's very fitting. Anyway, enough chatter. Shall we? Wait, professional here. She says, being very unprofessional. I guess what? I'm not necessarily the queen of queuing, but I think I managed to get you are unmuted. So we'll see. And OnlyFans is back. Yo. So we're gonna watch and see what we notice now. Sorry about Lally. Trigger warning, Lally. Hey, full screen? Yeah, full screen? Yep. Don't anybody ask me to play anything with any music in it today. Copyright strikes are the devil and I'm over them. So your girl needs to pay the bills. Don't know how long this will go for. I just wanted to get you are unmuted. So far, just OnlyFans. Who else we got? Oh, Pierre, thank you. New Amazon. I got like 12 new lip liners and you are unmuted. I can do some quite good Boston and American stuff. OnlyFans. That's it, Charlie. Yeah, I love Baker. I've been trying to have Baker. It's the time difference, man. Trying to coordinate Baker, me, and Oblivious Benson for 3 corners of the planet, time-wise. OnlyFans. We could be here for a while. Yes. Thank you so much, Charlie, for the gifted membership. That's pretty cool. Oh, we have I just went live on a members only accidentally instead of this live. But tomorrow night at 9, Friday night at 9, Amy in Boston and myself are going to do a members only, the good, the bad, and the ugly relationships. A call-in show if you want in the chat, just a bit of fun, Friday night fun. So Come on, OnlyFan. Yikes. Takes us back, doesn't it? That fan gives autistic vibes. I mean, it likes the repetition, doesn't it? Hey, Steph, how you going? How's counting going? Oh, Texan. I can say y'all. I think that's more Florida. Nah, I got Tommy CPU. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll see if he's around. It'll be the one with Baker is midnight Eastern. Tommy was on only like a week and a half ago, so we'll see. Yikes.
You are unmuted.
Yay! Prepare yourself. Brace yourself. Bev. Oh, LJ, hi. Lally. Jesus, Lally.
All right, jurors, once again, thank you very much for your patience. Your next witness, Mr. Lally?
Yes, Your Honor. The Commonwealth will call Ms. Nicole Albert to the stand.
So true, green girl. Oh my God, I just had an error message on my phone screen of the live saying something just went wrong. Oh, heart attack. Erin O'Keefe. I mean, she even wears drab-colored clothing.
You solemnly swear the evidence you give the court and jury in the case now here, should the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you. I just need you to speak nice and loud into that microphone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, Mr. Lally, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you,
Wait,
please state
have
your
we-
name and spell your last
What happened?
My name's
Okay,
Nicole
something
Albert,
did happen.
Albert.
name. And where do you live?
Norwood.
And about how long have you lived in Norwood?
About a year.
And prior to moving to Norwood, where did you live? Where did you live prior to
Canton.
that? How long had you lived in Canton?
My whole life.
Now, the specific address, where did you live in Canton prior to your move to Norwood?
34 Fairview Road.
And how long did you live at that house?
About 12 years.
And are you married, ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
Wait. I don't know if you guys are still
Brian
here.
Albert.
Are we still here? Okay, yeah, no,
Does
great.
he work?
He's retired from the Boston Police.
About how long was he an officer with Boston?
About 30 years.
Wait, are we back?
Do you have children?
Yes, we have 5.
And how old are your 5 children?
My oldest daughter is
Someone tell me
28,
what's that.
and then I have a son
Adam,
who's
what did you do?
25. I have another son who's actually 23
Sorry?
today. And then I have twins, a boy and a girl
I'm
who
on?
are 20.
Are we back?
And your
Okay,
oldest
bye,
daughter,
thank
what's
you.
her name?
Caitlin.
Wait, I'm pausing this. So what happened? Let's just talk about this. I
Brian
don't know what
Jr.
just happened. What just happened? What just happened? Is everyone back? We're back. I don't have 5 kids, Jess. What happened? I don't know. I had an error message on my phone just come up. Okay, hopefully everyone comes back. Back now. Wow. You know what? I'm just going to say I have some hectic, overwhelming anxiety at the moment. The last few days, I am just keeping my shit together. What I don't need is for StreamYard or YouTube to momentarily close the stream down. The stream went private. Are we good? Are we good? Hi, Ruthie, you missed the drama. Let me just gather myself. I'm just having a nervous breakdown, but we're good. We're professionals here. We are professionals. Shall we carry on? Thank you, Prince Lover. Buster's here to give me some emotional support. I'm fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Luckily, I have a vape right here. Okay, send the word out, everyone. We're back. We're back. I did nothing. I might just have a little cry here. I'll just take myself off stage for a second. Jokes, lol. Okay, wait, let's wind it back. I know we don't need to see anyone. I think you guys missed like a minute and a half. FML Life is amazing. I love everything. Let's go.
And Brian Jr., does he live with you currently? Now,
And the sirens are going, it's okay, Shorty. It's okay. We're good. Thanks, Annie.
your other children, do they live with you as well?
That rattled me.
My oldest daughter lives with her boyfriend in Easton, and my son Brendan lives with us. He's just finishing up college, so he's graduating this month from college, so he's back with us. My twin daughter, goes to college, so she's home now for the summer, but she has an apartment in Bridgewater. And then the twin boy is in the military.
And which branch is he?
The Marine Corps.
Now, if I could turn your attention to January 28th.
I'm just going to tweet out that we're back
Recall
again.
that day?
Mhm.
And
BRB,
recall,
I'm still
what
here.
day of the week that was.
It's a Friday.
And at the time of January 28th, 2022, did you work?
Yes, I've been a part-time lunch lady for about 9 years.
And you since retired, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
You've since retired from that?
I haven't retired. I just didn't go back this past year, but
And around that date, so January 28th, 2022, what, if any, significance was the next day of January 29th?
January 29th was my son Brian Jr.'s 23rd birthday.
And over the course of that week, sort of leading up into the weekend,
Hi,
what
Stacey.
plans did you make with
She
reference
does.
to your son and his birthday?
He had mentioned he was going to get together with some friends on the Saturday night, the 29th, for his birthday. And I had said, okay, well, maybe Friday night if anyone's around, any of our aunts or uncles or
Sorry, I just got oh my God. I'm still regaining my composure. These things were sent to test us. At least we're not complicit in the cover-up of a murder, right? There's always a right side. There's always a sunny side. Not for Nicole Albert, yikes. I might put it on 1.25 while I'm at it, y'all. Y'all? Because she, if it gets spicy, well, not with Lally. We'll go again.
or anyone, maybe we'll take you out, just local for some apps and drinks or something.
Apps.
And coming up to that day of Friday the 28th, what if anything sort of changed in reference to those plans?
Well, they were, the forecast was saying a big snowstorm was coming in, and it looked like it was going to be late Friday into all day Saturday. So I had said to my son, well, obviously doesn't seem like anyone will be able to go out on Saturday night. Why don't you just do something with your friends Friday night?
And had you, at that time, already made some plans with friends and relatives in regards to going out Friday?
Yeah, I had just mentioned to my daughter Caitlin and my sister-in-law Julie, and just had mentioned it to them about possibly getting together Friday.
And just to be clear for the record, when you say your sister-in-law Julie, how is she sort of related to you?
She's my husband's brother, Chris's wife.
And your husband has a number too.
Yeah, she's the oldest of
I
7.
just threw it. Wait.
And yourself and Julie Albert, you guys are friends?
Yes, we're very close.
And so,
She does, doesn't she?
also just one last question, sort of leading up through the course of that week, where did your husband Brian go?
Sort of last minute, I believe it was Thursday of that week, he went to New York for a funeral.
And you know who the funeral was in regard to?
It was for a New York police officer who had just been killed in the line of duty.
And do you recall how he got there as far as how
Yikes, Adam.
I
Yikes.
believe he may have flown Thursday to New York, and then the plan was to fly back Saturday, but that changed with the weather, and they didn't want to get stuck there. So after the funeral Friday morning, they drove home. A friend of his had driven, so he got a ride back with them on Friday.
Starring that Nicole.
And only if you know, but as far as that friend that he drove back with on Friday, do you know who that was?
The
Right,
friend
Ruthie?
who I believe
Right?
had the truck there and drove was Brian Higgins.
And is that someone, Mr. Higgins, that you were familiar with prior to that date in January?
Yes, he was a friend of my husband's.
Now, on that evening of the 28th, can you explain to the jury sort of how it was that where did you decide to go with your daughter?
Just got to let Buster out.
We
because
just decided to go to
we're a
Waterfall, a
doghouse
local
here.
place, 5-10 minutes down the road from our house. My sister-in-law Julie picked me up at my house, maybe 7:30, 7:45, and we went to the waterfall. And I believe my daughter and her boyfriend Tristan were already inside at a table.
And when your sister Julie came to pick you up at the house, in addition to yourself and your son Brian Jr., who, if anyone else, were one of his friends there at that
I
time?
believe 2 girlfriends may have already had come, and they were just sitting in the kitchen when I left.
And so you go out to the waterfall. When you get to the waterfall, where within the establishment did you go?
We came in, walked in, I believe to the left, there was just some small tables. And I think Caitlin and Tristan were already sitting there. So we sat down at the table and we ordered food and just hung out for a little bit, had food and some drinks.
And as far as drinks were concerned, do you recall sort of what you were drinking that night?
I was probably drinking White Claw.
God bless you. Now, later on, in the
Muted.
evening,
First mute. Count them.
Was there any
Hi,
sort of live
Ashley.
entertainment there?
Hi, Kenzie.
Yes.
Hi,
After
Sheree.
we ate, my daughter's boyfriend Tristan left shortly after because he was going to be going out shoveling, working with a plow guy. So he was planning to go home and just sleep, take a nap because he was going to have to get up like in the middle of the night to go out and do that. So he had left. So it was just me, Julie, and Caitlin. And at one point, the waitress had said, "Oh, a band's going to be setting up where you're sitting. Can I move you?" So she just kind of moved us over to like a high top table.
High
And then
tops.
after you were moved
Bingo.
over to the high top table, if anyone else came in to join your group.
Shortly after, I believe my sister Jennifer
Wild.
and her husband Matt came in, I had texted her just saying I was there if she was interested to come by. I think she said she was somewhere else. Did I want to come there? And I said, well, no, I'm already situated. The band's going to play. I'm just going to stay here. So she said, okay, maybe we'll come
Yeah.
there. So maybe 9
Yeah.
as she came in with another couple.
The band was here. Does anybody yet know the name of the band in chat? If you know the name of the band that was playing that night, please enlighten us.
I believe they had been at a
But also, was it snowing yet? Or was it snowing at all? Was there snow on the apron?
basketball game, their daughter's basketball game. So she came in with them.
And again, just to be clear, when you say your sister Jen and her
I'm
husband Matt,
sorry.
what is their last name?
It
McCabe.
wasn't me.
And,
It was
she's your
StreamYard
younger
and
sister, is
YouTube
that
hate
Yes.
me.
Now, as far as after they came in, if anyone else?
What is it, Nicole?
Shortly after that, I believe Julie's husband, Chris, came in. He worked up the street at his pizza shop. So I believe shortly after 9:30, he came down, he came in. And then in the meantime,
Wait, while I think of it, have you all hit the like button? Could you please? Particularly after that whole whatever glitch in the matrix. Just jump out of chat for one moment. Un momento. Hit the like and come on back in. It'll take you less than 2 seconds. Love ya.
meantime, my husband was, getting close to being back to the area from driving back from New York. So I had texted him and said, hey, me and Katie and whoever else, if you want to come by. And he was like, oh, I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day. And I just pushed him a little, oh, well, Katie's here. She, just come. She wants to see you. So he's like, all right, maybe I'll pop in. So I believe so it was Jen and Matt and the other couple. And then Chris came in. And then I believe maybe around 10, Brian came in.
And after your husband Brian came in, was there anybody else that came in and joined?
Shortly after, maybe 10:30, his
You
friend
put a-
Brian Higgins had
You
come
put a
in.
Gatorade.
So your husband Brian and Brian Higgins came in separately about a half hour apart.
I think so, yes.
And following
Thank
that,
you.
who, if anyone else, came into the establishment and sort of joined your group at the hot top table?
A little bit later, but I think approximately 11, John walked in with his girlfriend,
And when you say John, who is John?
John O'Keefe.
And how did you know John O'Keefe prior to that night?
I didn't know him that well. I think I had only met him once, maybe twice through my sister. Brief interaction. I think when he first walked in, actually, I didn't recognize him. I think I said to someone, oh, who's that? Because they were kind of walking towards our table. And they said, oh, it's John O'Keefe. I said, oh. So they came in and they just kind of went to the end of the table where like my sister Jennifer and Matt and Chris and Julie were, because they knew them. I had never met Karen and I'd only met John once or twice. So they kind of just went.
I mean, allegedly, there were some Jennifer McCabe and Brian Albert shenanigans. I don't know. Like pure speculation, rumor, and innuendo. Gossip. Would it surprise me? Not at all. Would it add to the broken, downtrodden, sad vibe of Nicole Albert? Absolutely. Just having to suffer along with all of their bullshit. That whole town, well, not the whole town, that whole clan.
Went to the other end of the table where Jen and Matt were, who they know,
Sorry.
and Chris and Julie, who John had been neighbors with for a couple of years.
Oh my goodness.
So they were all just kind of at that end talking.
Yikes.
And probably pretty well understood. But just to be clear, as far as the sister that you knew of John through, that was your sister that was there, Jennifer?
Yes, Jennifer.
And as far as you referenced his girlfriend, had you ever met his girlfriend before that night?
No.
So you had never met Karen Reed prior to that night? As far as you recall?
Nope.
Nope.
And at
Really?
any point in time,
Okay.
did you have any interaction, or what if any interaction did you have with either Mr. O'Keefe or Mr.
At one point, John,
So she just said then, I mean, we know this, but she just said then that, nope, I'd never met Karen Reed before that night. So already we're starting to really understand that Karen was an outsider to the town. She wasn't from Canton, and she certainly wasn't in that circle. She is still the perfect fall guy, right? The perfect patsy. Pin it on the girl. Pin it on the girl. From the jump, right? From the jump.
John walked by, towards me and my sister, my daughter at the table and said, "Hey, I'm going up to the bar. Do you guys need a drink or anything?" And we said, "No, thank you." I think he then kind of
If
stopped
Sean
and spoke
said
with
it.
my husband for a minute, probably was asking him the same thing. Then John went back up to the
Ew.
bar, and then he went back down to, where he'd been standing. And that was the only interaction I had with him.
And as far as your understanding or your knowledge of Mr. O'Keefe, did you know what he did for a living?
Yes.
Many, I would think, Linda.
I knew he
Many.
was a Boston
He's a
Boston
creep.
policeman.
Entitled
And was he somebody,
piece of shit.
if you know, that worked with your husband?
No, I don't believe he ever worked with my husband. I don't believe they ever crossed paths at work. I think they were in different
Starring at
areas
just
of,
us.
the job.
Fair to say Boston Police Department is a relatively large department, correct?
Yeah, it's like 3,000.
Hi.
Now, with reference to Ms. Reed, what, if any, interaction did you have with her that night?
I had none. I don't believe we spoke or we were introduced or anything. I don't think we spoke at all.
Starring it, Debbie. Starring it.
Now, turning back to Mr. O'Keefe just for a second, if you recall, what, if anything, do you recall him to be wearing?
With
as far as
no
clothing was
ass.
concerned during your interaction?
She's
I
beautiful.
believe he had a hat on,
Karen's
some sort of just sweatshirt, jeans, and sneakers.
At any point in time that you saw him or while he was talking to you, did you see any sort of like winter jacket or big coat or anything like that?
No,
And as far as his clothing was concerned, did you observe it to have any sort of tears in it or any dishevelment, anything like that?
no,
And as far as his face was concerned, or any sort of outward part of his body, did you observe, or what, if anything, did you observe with regard to injuries on him or anything like that?
nothing like that.
Now, as far as your home was concerned, was that somewhere that either Mr. O'Keefe or Ms. Reed had ever been to before?
No,
And over the course of the evening, what, if any, discussion was there that you heard or were a part of in regard to sort of what was going to do or where to go after leaving the waterfall?
well, after the band wrapped up, I was getting ready to leave, and I just kind of leaned over to my sister Jennifer and said, "Hey, Brian Jr.'s at the house. I think he just has 2 friends there. He's going to be turning 23 at midnight. If on your way home you want to just swing by and say happy birthday,
Amen,
if you want to do that, come by
amen.
and do that." And she was like, "Okay, And then I was just kind of gathering up my stuff, and I got ready to leave. It may have been mentioned at the table, but I had no idea, if anyone else was interested in doing that or wanted to do it.
Thank
I
you,
had just said it to my
Kenzie.
sister.
Mwah. Love you.
And if anybody
Thank
else
you
had
so
wanted
much.
to join or come along, would that have been an issue?
Oh no, I would have no problem if anyone sitting with us had come.
But as far as you knew, you just communicated that to your sister Jennifer, and whatever happened after that happened.
Yes.
And when you say sort of the band was wrapping up and the bar,
Yes, he does have the oddest questions and the most mind-numbingly boring. I think that your opinion would be quite universal. I can't imagine anyone of their right mind would think that Lally had anything other than the doldrums to inflict on us. If there's one good thing about Hank Brennan being brought in and Lunchbox Lally being turfed, it's that hopefully there'll be some spice in the some intonations, some beautiful rise and fall of vocal qualities in Hank Brennan that isn't just a dial tone to quote our friend Mr. Betterow.
bar
The
sort of
man?
winding down, is that correct?
Yes.
About what time was that?
Like 12:45.
And about what time was it, if you know, about what time was it that you left the bar?
A little before 12ish.
And who, if anyone, left with you?
It was me, my daughter, Caitlin, and my husband.
And how did you get from the waterfall back to your house on this?
My husband drove the 3 of us back to Fairview Road.
And when you came outside of the waterfall and were sort of getting in your car and about to drive home, what, if anything, did you observe as far as the weather or what was going on at that point?
It was just starting to snow a little, nothing major. Just a little snowfall started coming down.
Prince, oh my goodness, Jeez Louise. Jesus Lally. Sorry guys.
It was, quicker to walk in the side door for the kids, I guess. So they would just,
Wait. God damn it.
Where the cars go, like his car versus your car versus any.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There we go. That's what we're up to.
Communicated
Yes.
that to your sister Jennifer and
Jennifer
whatever happened after that.
McCabe. I do think maybe Lally's on the spectrum, a little bit autistic. Me also, and many of us in our little corner of YouTube over here. I don't know, possibly not, but that's my inkling. Sorry about that swipe through. If you're not regular on my channel, you know that I sometimes do stuff like that. Hang on, wait, I'm not up to where we're up to. There we go. Back to it.
Thing did you observe as far as the weather or what was going on?
Oh, the weather. It was
It
snowing.
was just starting
right?
to snow a little, nothing major. Just a little snowfall started coming down.
You could still sort of see the street and the blacktop.
Yeah.
And again, about how long a car ride is that, generally speaking, from the waterfall to your house on Fairview?
5 minutes, 7 minutes.
And as when you arrived at Fairview, who, if anyone, was there when you got there?
When we arrived and I came in, my son was sitting there with his two friends and my nephew Colin, who is Julie and Chris's son. He was there. I kind of bumped into him when I walked in. I didn't realize he was there. I said, "Oh, hey, what are you doing here?" And he said, "Oh, I just stopped by to see Brian, but I'm about to leave. My ride's about to be here." I said, "Oh, okay."
And let me back up just for a minute. So when you arrived there, your husband
The
Brian arrived,
Colokeephuses.
where does he park in relation to the house?
Colokeephuses.
We pulled into the driveway.
And typically, is there sort of an order to it as far as where the cars go, like his car versus your car versus any other car?
Not really.
And
No.
maybe
Recall on
Coke.
that evening, which side of the driveway he pulled into, the left?
I believe it was in front of the left garage.
The nose kind, not the drinking
And
kind.
when you come into and enter into the house when you were living there at 34 Fairview, was there, how many doors are there sort of on the front of the house?
Well, there's a side door by the garage, and then there's like a front door in the front of the house.
And is there any sort of particular rhyme or reason as to
I think
which
so, Kat.
door you would be entering?
We usually use the side door. Initially I didn't like that because the side door walked right into the family room. So I kind of like the other door. You could walk into a foyer you could take your shoes off, stuff like that. But eventually people just didn't want to, it was, quicker to walk in the side door for the kids, I guess. So they would just go in the side door. But I think that night, because of the weather and it was wet out, I think I went in the front door so I could walk into the foyer and take my shoes off or wipe my feet or whatever. But some of the other people still may have gone in the side door.
And when you sort of come into that front door,
Taryn, I think probably Nicole feels no joie de vivre, no joy of life. She's drab in her lifestyle, drab in her mental health. I'm speculating. Drab, flat, without any color, lacking in color. She's a broken woman, in my opinion. It just would not be on brand for her to be bright and sparkly, because nothing about Nicole Albert is bright and sparkly, sadly.
where you were going in to sort of take your shoes off in the foyer, is that when you ran into your nephew Colin?
Yes.
And about how old was Colin around that time?
It was 17.
And you mentioned that he had a ride. Did he give you any indication as to who that ride was?
He didn't mention at that time who the ride was.
And that sort of interaction that you had with Colin in your house prior to him leaving and walking out, about how long a period of time was that?
Absolutely, Gary.
A couple minutes.
Absolutely.
Not even, just a quick interaction.
And then he left the home?
Yeah,
You
Debbie.
didn't see him for the rest of the time?
No.
And then you come into the home, and again, I'm sorry, who was there?
Lally
initially when
Bonneby,
you-
I love it.
So
It's
my
Lala.
son
That's
Brian
awesome.
and his two friends Julie and Sarah were
Beige.
just kind of sitting at a kitchen table in like the dining room area of the kitchen.
If you could explain to the jury sort of the layout of your home at Fairview. So you walk into a foyer, and then where is the kitchen related to that?
Well, if you walk in, if you go to the right, it's like an open doorway, and that's kind of like the dining room part of the kitchen. But then it extends to the back of the house where it's like an island and like the.
I presume y'all have seen Microdot's simulation, recreation of Inside 34 Fairview, that chilling video that has the Adele song playing in the background. Hence, I won't be playing it on this stream for copyright reasons, but yes, we can visualize much better than Nicole is demonstrating here. And yes, Ernie, we want demonstratives in the next trial, please. I'd like to hear some "let the record reflect the witness has just indicated X, Y, and Z." Also, the record.
Sink and the counters and the cabinets and all that. So it's just like long.
So as far as the dining
That's what
room
she
and kitchen,
said.
is there any sort of like wall or structure? or anything
No, it's
separating
open in between the two of those things.
that? And then if I were to go sort of further back within that home beyond the kitchen and the dining room,
I
what's
cried
back there?
many times,
Well,
twice,
to the
three
right
times,
is like the family
every
room.
time.
Is there anything as far as the wall? Can you see into the family room?
You can. It's like an opening. Yeah, it's not completely open, but there's an opening.
So if someone was standing in the family room and you were standing in the kitchen, you could see them, converse with them that night.
Yes.
And when you come in and your son Brian Jr. is sitting around the table with two girls, Sarah and Julie, what are they doing?
Just two
We're just
girls,
sitting
really?
there.
Is
Really?
there any sort of music playing or
Lally.
anything like that going on?
Lally.
There may have
Jesus,
been. I'm not
Lally.
sure if there was music playing at that time.
Was there just two girls? Really? Weren't there two others? They just haven't made it onto any of the documentation, any of the police reports. But if we're to believe, and I think we all do, Sean McDonough, DEA Daddy. P.S. That's a Shorty coin, DEA Daddy. There was more than just two girls there. Two females. Wasn't that Higgy who said that? Two females? Women's better, Higgy. Females is very misogynistic.
Time, but there might have been.
When you say at that time, was there anything that happened later on?
Well, later on, I remember that we had music connected to like a little speaker
Yep.
that we were playing.
ABL,
Yeah,
Agreed,
but
Taryn,
when
agreed.
I first walked in, I don't remember if they had music going or not.
And you get back to the house, and what is it that you're doing sort of when you come back?
So I come in, I assume I, said happy birthday to my son, said hello to his friends, and then I just kind of went to the kitchen area, and like they had ordered food, and so I just did my usual thing. I just was picking up, wasn't a huge mess, but I was just picking up the area, cleaning, probably checked the bathroom to make sure that was clean.
Cleaning a bit of
just
blood
my
off the
usual thing that I
basement
do,
floor.
just picking up around the house.
Just
And I don't mean to minimize
cleaning up
this in
after a
any way, but
murder.
you basically, you did the mom thing where you go around and start cleaning up, correct?
Yeah, yep.
And is that something that you did sort of continuously throughout the evening, or?
Yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Now, after you arrived home, who, if anyone else, came by your house?
so wait.
Well,
Let's wait. Can I do this? Let's check the time before I swipe it through. Let's just go back by 1 minute. Oh, I'm an absolute professional. See? See? Don't let anyone tell you you're not Shorty. You are a fucking professional.
Well, if you walk in, if you go to the right, it's like an open doorway, and that's kind of like the dining room part of the kitchen. But then
Pay
it extends
attention,
to the back
y'all.
of the house where it's like an island and like the sink and the counters and the cabinets and all that. So it's just like long.
So as far as the dining room and the kitchen, is there any sort of like wall or structure? or anything
No, it's
separating
open in between the two of those things.
them? And then if I were to go sort of further back within that home beyond the kitchen and the dining room,
Hi, Candy.
what's back there?
Well, to the right, there's like the family room.
And is there anything as far as the wall? Can you see into the family room?
You can. It's like an opening. Yeah, it's not completely open, but there's an opening.
So if someone was standing in the family room and you were standing in the kitchen, you could see them, converse with them that night.
Yes.
Thank you, Jess.
And when you come in and your son Brian Jr. is sitting around the table with two girls, Sarah and Julie, what
Can we
are they
boot that one, please?
We're just sitting there.
Team?
Is there any
Oh, wait,
sort
I'll
of
do it.
music playing or anything like that?
I'll
going
just
on?
hide your comment, darling.
There may have been. I'm not sure if there was music playing at that time, but there might have
I'll use you
been.
in timeout, I think.
When you say at that time, was there anything?
I don't know
that
how
happened
long
later on?
Well, later on, I remember that we had music connected to like a little speaker that we were
Coco,
playing.
ABL, like-
Yeah, but when I first walked in, I don't remember if they had music going or not.
And you get back to the house, and what is it that you're doing sort of when you come back?
So I come in, I assume I, said happy birthday to my son, said hello to his
We're not
friends,
live,
and then
Dixie.
I just
Hey,
kind of
John.
went to the
How you
kitchen
going?
area,
Good to see
and
you.
like they had ordered food, and so I just did my usual thing. I just was picking up, wasn't a huge mess, but I was just picking up the area, cleaning, probably checked the bathroom to make sure that was clean. Just my usual thing that I do, just picking up around the house.
Cleaning up after a
I don't
murder.
mean to
Just what
minimize
you
this
do.
in any way, but you basically did the mom thing where you go around and start cleaning up, correct?
Yeah, yep.
And is that something that you did sort of continuously throughout the evening, or?
Yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Now,
We don't feel
after
bad for her.
you arrived home, who, if anyone else, came by your house?
Well, once we were there, it was me and my daughter and my husband, and Brian Higgins had come in. And then it was, Brian and his two friends were already there. And then my sister Jen and her husband Matt came in maybe like 12:15-ish.
And so, Mr. Higgins, did he come in around the same time as you, or did he come after or before?
Yeah, he came in the same time. I mean, I think he might have pulled up to our house before us. But we got out of the car and went right into the house. So I assume he just came in, basically around the same time.
Do you have any idea sort of what Mr. Higgins was driving that night when he came to your house?
I believe it was a Jeep.
Do you have any idea where, in reference
The
to?
magical Jeep, yes. I don't think, I mean, I feel for Nicole for her life and for being stuck in, you know, like however that looks like, being stuck in that, I presume, god awful marriage with that clearly god awful man. I don't feel any empathy for her whatsoever. For her, well, actually, for her culpability, her complicity in the cover up. But did she really have a choice? I wouldn't fuck with Brian Abbott, would you? He's a menacing character. I think we spoke last week or recently when we were reviewing Kerry Roberts' testimony that that I dare say there was obviously some manipulation by Jennifer McCabe of Kerry Roberts. We kind of came to the decision in that stream that Kerry Roberts was never in the in crowd in Canton, and that to be called upon to be helpful, that she was needed in that situation, and then manipulated throughout that, and then brought into the the closing arguments with Colin Albert, Brian Albert, and Jennifer McCabe, kept her feeling like she was still in the loop. Nicole Albert is got a whole different, I believe, in my opinion, a whole different sort of set of obligations and a marriage worth. I mean, she and Brian Albert were together from high school, right? So she is very much in my opinion, a relationship that is full of coercive control, and she would have had no choice. Look at her; she doesn't have any. She doesn't have any spark, any get up and go. She's a beaten, a downtrodden woman. So some empathy, but at the end of the day, do the right thing, you shady, shady women. All of you. Shady women. This is disgusting.
To your house where Mr. Higgins parked.
I'm not sure. I thought it was out on the curb facing up Fairview, maybe by our mailbox, but it could have been in the driveway. I'm not 100% sure.
Not something you were particularly paying attention to?
No.
And at some point after you and your daughter and your husband and then Mr. Higgins comes along, about how long a period of time is it between your arrival in the home and then when
I mean,
Ms. McCabe and her husband come?
Yes and no. I go back to that, since high school, they've been together. It's all very good and well. Of course, the right thing to do was for none of this to have happened, for it to have been stopped at any point along the way. Obviously, before the altercation, the assault, the murder of Officer John O'Keefe. But, coercive control, and I'm speculating, but coercive control is a very powerful tool and a very powerful controlling, obviously, as the name suggests. By the look of Nicole Albert, I don't think she's living her best life, she certainly looks like she carries the weight of more things than perhaps everyone's favorite snaky manipulating puppet master, Jennifer McCabe. I just think I don't know. I don't think Nicole Albert has much choice in all of that. Very much conditioned to do what she is told, in my opinion.
15 minutes, 20 minutes.
What do you think, chat? What do you think?
And as far as your nephew Colin, when he had left, was Ms. McCabe and her husband there yet?
No.
And when Ms. McCabe and her husband come, where is it that, while you're at your house, where is it that everybody sort of congregates?
They came in and they sat down at the kitchen table with Brian and his two friends, and then I believe my daughter Caitlin was sitting at the table as well.
Absolutely, compo.
And back at your home after leaving the bar, was there any drinking that was going on there afterward?
Yeah.
And
This.
about how long? Skip forward to a little bit. People had left your home. About how long a period of time was it that people, from the time that you arrived back from the waterfall to the time that people sort of left and you closed down?
By the time everyone left, it was probably close to 2.
And who was the last person that left?
My daughter, Caitlin.
And do you know how it was that she left, or who, if anyone picked her up?
Her boyfriend, Tristan, picked her up because, like I said, he was going to have to get up anyways.
John, I don't know. I think that's, I think you'd find most people find him quite menacing. Physically, his stature is quite imposing. He seems to be a very gruff, not real friendly kind of a guy. I'm sure his reputation precedes him. I think it's all good and well to say he's not scary, but I mean, even short little wimpy guys can keep their women, their partner under their control. I've been that woman in 2 different relationships. Like it's just not that simple. It's not that simple. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Is overnight.
It's not right what she's complicit in my opinion, but it's not that simple. Again, in my opinion and in my experience.
To do the shoveling, plowing thing. So I think she didn't want to get
I'm not giving her a pass. I'm just saying we need some context here. It's not black and white. Life, the world, the universe is not black and white.
stuck probably at our house for the next day. So she had just said, hey, can you?
Okay,
Yeah,
can you
Liza.
answer the next question, Mr. Lally?
Now, prior to your daughter Caitlin leaving, let me ask you this. As far as people leaving from your house, what was sort of the order of how people left and when people left?
I believe Brian Higgins left first, approximately 1:30ish. Then Jennifer and Matt and Brian's 2 friends left 12:45, 12:50. And then, 1:45, 1:50, I'm sorry. And then Caitlin was probably closer to 2.
And when your daughter Caitlin left, who, if anyone, was left downstairs and sort of awake between yourself and the other people that lived there?
Just me.
So your son and your husband had both gone up to bed at that point?
Yes.
And at any point in time, so you mentioned that there were a number of people that were sort of around the table in the kitchen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, sorry.
Allegedly, in
where
my
did anybody
opinion.
else go sort of around your house during that time?
I know at one point, my husband and his friend Brian were in our family room. So I kind of went in there and was talking to them. We
No,
had some
exactly.
shelves on the wall that just had a bunch of pictures, old pictures from our wedding or when Brian was in the Marine.
Again, this is a degree of cognitive dissonance, right? Because we as empathetic, empathic humans can see Nicole Albert is clearly not a happy woman. A lifetime of she's just so drab, yeah. She doesn't even refer to, we haven't got to it yet, but she doesn't even refer to the family pet, beautiful Chloe, as she. It's it. She is just a flat, downtrodden woman. So there's empathy there for that. That's horrible for anybody. Nobody wants to see another human. But look at her. She's just a picture of depression. Really, isn't she? Oh, I mean, she's younger than me. She's younger than me. Like 5 or 6 years younger than me. So is Jill Daniels, by the way, but that's another whole story. They all are. But so then it's such a hard thing to come to terms with, and that's why it's just not black and white, is that we can feel empathy for her life situation and for being tied up inextricably intertwined and tied to Brian Albert. In a small town, it's very incestuous. She's been there her whole life. Everybody knows everybody. I presume she's conditioned and under coercive control from that husband. And then she has to do what she's told. Still doesn't make it right. And so we then have this, this disconnect between what should have never happened, what she should have done, but how do you do the right thing when you're in like 20, 30 years of being that person? I just don't think it's that simple. Like, not giving her a pass, but
So we would just kind of look at them, laugh,
it's
and talk about
infuriating
them.
and it's confusing.
We stood in there for a little bit talking.
It's hard to
and then eventually
reconcile.
we just kind of moved into the kitchen area where everybody else was.
And to your knowledge, had Mr. Higgins been over to your house at any point prior?
He may have been at our house for a graduation party, but I wasn't sure if he had ever been inside because the party was outside. It was a cookout. So I don't know if he'd been in that part of my house.
Now, as far as the outside of your house, at any point in time during the course of the evening, did you hear anything unusual, see anything unusual outside of your house?
I didn't.
At any point in time, did you were you aware of anybody coming to your house that didn't come in?
I was only aware at one point I saw my son, I think either looking out the window or at the door, and his friend Julie, she went out the side door, and I said, to Brian, is Julie leaving? And he said, well, no, she had asked her brother for a ride.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. So no conversation. And Mr. Lally's going to ask another question.
Okay.
Jack, do we
saw
know?
your
Have they
son's friend
split?
Julie go outside?
Mm-hmm.
And
So that has to be a
Sorry.
yes or no. Okay.
Sorry.
And at some point, did Julie come back into the house?
Yes.
And about how long was it, if you know, that she was outside before she came back in?
I don't think it was very long, couple minutes.
And
Margaret, hi.
over the course of the entirety of the evening, at any point, did anybody else, other than the people that you talked about previously, come into your house?
No.
And specifically, John O'Keefe or Karen Reed that you saw at the bar earlier that night, at any point in time on the evening of the 28th or the early morning of the 29th, did either of those people come into your house?
No,
I'm 50.
They never came
I'm
into my
almost
home.
50.
And
50
at
in
any
6
point in time,
months.
even on that evening or that early morning of the 29th, were you aware that they were coming to you?
I actually wasn't. I think when I was in the other room with my husband and his friend, I had missed the conversations about Jennifer reaching out with John or her texting him and him texting her about where we lived. I didn't even realize that that was happening, that they had any intention to come.
Starring it,
Let
Cherie.
me ask you a little bit about sort of going back to the waterfall just for a brief moment. Over the course of your time there, how would you describe sort of the tone or how was everybody at the waterfall?
It was fine. It was a nice night. It was nothing out of the usual. Just had a good time.
So nothing abnormal, no arguments, no fighting or anything like that?
No.
Same question as it relates to back at your house now at 34 Fairview Road. How would you describe sort of the atmosphere back there?
Same thing. We were just hanging out, sitting around the house talking, having a good time.
Again, I'm sorry, I'm no fan of Nicole Albert or of any of these bloody clowns, these murdering, disgusting, corrupt, revolting humans. But that's a really good point. And imagine how much she was dreading this. Like, I don't think she has the confidence and the nous, the audacity like Jennifer McCabe has or Brian Albert. She doesn't have the experience of being on the stand. She doesn't have. I mean, I'm just assuming here, but let's just assume that she's clinically depressed, for understandably, right? Imagine how hard this. I'm not trying to be. I don't know. This is a complex woman. Ugh. Carry on. Sorry. I'm such an empath. I feel things very deeply, and I know for some people they want to make it cut and dry, and I get that. I'm just adding a little bit of context to it. We can hate her, but we can also feel for her. What she was always going to be damned if she did, damned if she doesn't. What? Hopefully the feds come in and take over for her because she can't stand up to that man. I don't think.
Good time. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. Just a murder, and a cleanup and a frame job.
Now, after your daughter, Caitlin, gets picked up and she leaves, what if any, how long did you stay up after that?
I think once she left, I just did my final cleanup of the kitchen and, shut the lights and I went upstairs to bed.
And do you recall anything about locking
my
the front
Legos.
door or any of the doors to your house before you went up to bed?
No.
Is that something that you would always do, typically do, never do?
It was type of thing where we have 5 kids. Everyone's coming in and out at different times. Like the last person in was supposed to lock it. But then, we changed the doorknobs and immediately the keys got lost. It was just always a disaster. So a lot of times the door was just kind of left unlocked.
Thank you. I haven't covered up a murderer
When you went up to bed,
or a murder, and I haven't been married to a
murderer.
murderer.
Yep.
As far as I
And
know.
was he awake or asleep?
He was awake. He was just lying in bed watching TV.
Now, as far as over the course of that evening after you come up to bed with your husband, do you recall anything
Not quite
about
50,
him talking
Taryn.
to anyone on the phone
4th
or
of
any
July,
phone
my birthday.
conversations or anything like that?
I do not.
At some point you fall asleep and then you wake up the next day, is that right?
Yes.
And turn your attention to later on that morning of the 29th. So you had
Good
gone to bed
lighting,
about
LA.
what time?
Probably 2:30ish, somewhere around there.
And it's a little unclear from my question, but when you go up to your bedroom, about what time is that?
About 2-ish.
And so the 2:30 that you're talking about, is that sort of when you fall asleep?
Yeah, sometime around there.
And from that next morning,
Me
how is it
either.
that you wake up the next morning?
Hey,
Well,
Ozzy.
at some point
Yeah,
between
good to
6
see
and
you.
6:30 that morning, my sister Jennifer came
Fritz in the house.
bursting into my bedroom.
And I'm bursting into your bedroom, is that correct?
Yes.
And what, if any, how would you describe your sister Jennifer and how was she sort of acting at that point?
Well, she came in, my husband and I just kind of sat up in bed and she's saying, he's out in the snow. We found him out in the snow. We don't know if he's okay. And my immediate thought was just that something had happened to one of my children. Something had happened to one of her children. I couldn't imagine why she was in my bedroom at this time in the morning. And I'm like, Jennifer, what are you talking about?
John.
And she's like,
Objection. You said.
All right, next question.
Karen, if I may? Can we approach?
Okay.
So I don't know how many of you are kind of law nerds. I'm absolutely a law nerd and trial nerd. So because Liza Little is making the objections, that's how we know that's who would be doing the cross-examination, if there is to be one, which there is, we know. So one horse, one rider. So in a trial, only one attorney, if there are more than one attorneys on the defense or the prosecution side, only one attorney can examine or cross-examine a witness, and that same attorney is the one who states and argues the objections, so and the sidebars. So there you go. That's how we know Liza's going to be doing this one. We also know because we've all saw it. Madam Court Reporter, they're approaching the bench. Lally wishes he could go out and have a ciggy. So what else? She's so different to the other ones. No matter what she says on the stand, how good she'd lie, it won't be good enough for Brian. He probably beat the shit out of her that night. Allegedly. Possibly. Speculation. Just a question, if emotional beating or physical. Oh, she's absolutely a beaten woman, whether it, again, exactly. I mean, haven't we all heard Sean McDonough tell us all about how we've seen the photos of who Big Bad Brian A has beaten on, as if he's not beaten on his little mouse of a wife, allegedly. Come at me, McAlberts. Come at me over here. And the trolls. Let's fucking go. I don't care. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can pull dirt on me. Everybody knows my dirt. You all know my dirt. Born on the 4th of July, that's me. Yay.
Sorry, one moment. Let me back you up just for a second and I'll get back to this. As far as when your sister Jennifer comes into your bedroom, do you know about what time that was?
Between 6 and 6:30.
And it's fair to say that's not a normal occurrence.
No, it's never happened before.
And if you could just
Stood
describe
seeing me
your
without my
sister
makeup. I look
Jennifer's,
about 90.
demeanor when she first comes into your bedroom.
She was hysterical.
And she says some things to you, and then where did you go from there?
Well, I tried to ask her what was going on. What is she talking about? And she told us.
Objection, Your Honor.
No, I'm going to allow that.
So
Yes.
she
Yes.
told us, what had happened or what she had just witnessed outside.
Yes.
And we were just trying to understand what she's saying. Like I said, I didn't know if it was something that happened to one of her kids, one of my kids. And so I said, Jennifer, I don't know what you're talking about. So she finally was
Yes.
like, well, John, remember John from last night at the waterfall?
Cool.
And I'm like, what do you mean? How could you be outside? And she's like, you got to get up. The police are here and they want to talk to you. So my husband and I got up. I think I threw on a sweatshirt and we started to walk down the stairs. As we walked down the stairs into that foyer area, Officer Link was walking in the house.
And so that front foyer area would have been the front door you were talking about before?
Yes, turd.
And when you get sort of down to the bottom of the stairs, is it just Officer Lank? Are there any other officers with him?
It was just Officer Link at that
Lanka,
time.
you're done.
And the door was halfway open. I kind of pushed it open, looked out, and I saw like a cruisers and a couple of guys, standing out in the snow. And I said, Jennifer, where's John now?
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to move on, Mr. Lally. The objection is sustained.
Lally.
As far as
Jesus,
when you looked
Lally.
outside, did you
Sorry.
see any ambulance or
Blasphemy.
fire truck or anything like that?
No, I didn't see an ambulance. I did see maybe 2 cruisers. I don't remember if there was a fire truck there. I don't think there was, but I'm not sure.
And as far as Officer Lank or any other
Lanka.
officers or officers with the Canton Police, is that correct?
Yeah.
And where did they go once you opened the door?
So he came in the house, and I believe around the same time Jennifer's husband, Matt, had come.
If you see photos of the like Jennifer McCabe and Nicole Albert as teenagers, Nicole was quite sparkly. She had a sparkle in her eyes. She was, I think, prettier than Jen McCabe. I mean, obviously Jen is an ugly person inside and out now, and looks like she's spent far too much time with all sorts of substances, and she's a control freak, so no doubt she controls what she eats also, and I presume she's probably someone who exercises quite a lot. I'd say she's very vain. Nicole got stuck with like I think Jen, obviously Jen wears the pants in that family with Fatty Matty, but yeah, I think you're probably right. Nicole was, even though back then she was the prettier one, she was probably the more demure, less manipulative, less up and at 'em compared to Jen, and she's ended up like this.
To come. I assume she had called him or whatever. So it was me, Brian, and Jen and Matt. And Officer Lang said, can I come in? Can I talk to you guys? And we said, sure, absolutely. He came in, we sat at the table, and he was just kind of asking us all, okay, where were you last night?
Never.
Okay, sustain. Next question, please.
The table that you're talking about, where in the house did you talk about?
That same dining room area.
And without regard to sort of content of the conversation, but about how long a period of time did that conversation with the officer go on?
I don't know.
Hi, Stan.
45
Good to
minutes.
see you.
Maybe, I'm not exactly sure.
As far as how the conversation ended, at any point during the conversation, did yourself or your sister or your husband or did anyone ever sort of end the conversation or tell the officers to leave the home or anything like that?
No.
Chat.
And
Chat. One's in the chat. Who thinks that Nicole and Brian were asleep at all that night? Can we imagine them standing up there watching from 6:30 in the morning, watching what was going on outside? One's in the chat. Were they asleep at all that night? Were any of them asleep at all that night? We know that Jen wasn't, because her Apple data shows her pacing around, being very active all through the night. One's in the chat. Did they sleep?
you welcomed them inside once you realized what was going on?
Yes, absolutely. And I believe another officer had come in as well.
Dixie,
Now,
Dorbeth,
after
yuck.
the officers
Nope.
leave from your home,
All night.
what happened then?
So I believe they left and said that someone would be in touch with us, the state police or somebody. So they left and we were all just kind of sitting there.
Thank you for the super chat, Michelle. In my opinion, Nicole has been conditioned and controlled by her whole life by her sister, yes, and by her husband also. But yes. She's an easy. She looks like a pushover, and more as she's gotten older. Nicole is broken. Jen is pure evil, but still no bueno. Yeah, exactly. This is a toughie, right? This is a toughie. I don't know how to feel about. I feel more loathing towards Kerry Roberts than I do to Nicole Albert. 100%. Kerry Roberts is a much less sympathetic character than Nicole Albert. Kerry Roberts is just, ugh. She's like, ugh.
In shock. I'm
Horror.
asking Jennifer, what
Shock
happened?
and horror.
How did you end up here? What's going on?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Next question, please.
Your Honor, as far as, may we approach this briefly?
Okay.
Far too much to clean. Lally. I think old drunkards would sleep through something like that, but I think they had to be vigilant. I think. What do you think, chat? Kerry Roberts, can't stand her. No. If you haven't already, watch the stream. I didn't even know when it was. It's my last live, I think. No, the one before. Anyway, Kerry Roberts, we went through the whole testimony. It's had quite a few views, so I think it was a good, interesting thought exercise, absolutely, to go back and scrutinize, because I remember at the time, I thought that Kerry Roberts' testimony was quite credible, innocuous, benign. Not so much now. A couple of lies we picked up on, very obvious lies, and some impeachable stuff too in that one.
And so, Ms. Albert, without any sort of specifics of your conversation with Ms. McCabe, you had a conversation with her, is that correct?
Yes.
And about how long did that conversation go on for?
With just her? We were all just kind of sitting around the table talking.
And just to be clear, when we say all, who is all?
Just got to close the
It
back
was
door.
me, my husband, and Jennifer and Matt.
And at some point later on, did other people come over your house?
Yes, at some point, my husband's friend Brian Higgins came over.
And do you know how he came to be at your house that morning?
I believe Brian called him to let him know. He had been with us the night before, and I think he had been friends with John and Karen, so Brian thought he should let him know.
And do you know about what time that was or how long it was after the officers left that Mr. Higgins came over?
Could have been 15, 20 minutes. I feel like he came somewhere around 7:38, and maybe the link had been done by 7:15. If he was around 6:30, I'm not really sure of specifics.
And
Facts, LA, facts. Ew,
what happened then?
but facts. Particularly if
Then
he was
we
on
were
the
all just
coke.
still kind of sitting there.
Those beers.
Kerry, who is another person that was called that morning, she had been at the hospital, so she was kind of calling Jennifer, giving updates as to what was happening with John. So we were kind of waiting to hear how he was, if he was okay. Then around, I don't know if it was 8:30, I had noticed my sister-in-law, Julie, had pulled into
Let's
the
go back to
driveway,
regular speed.
and I saw her get out, and she was putting a box of donuts in my son's car, whose birthday it was, because they had a bit between them where every year she did that. She got him donuts and she would leave them for him. So I saw her and I said to my husband, "Oh,
Objection.
Okay, not what you said to your husband. So wait for another question.
okay, sorry."
That's okay.
Sorry.
Spoke to your
Sorry.
husband, and where did he go?
He went to the door because Julie was about to get back in her car and leave, and I thought
A
that she
relief
should be
even,
made
Jane.
aware of what was going on.
And so your husband goes to the door, and at some point, your sister-in-law, Julie, comes into the house.
Yes.
And if you know about how long a period was Julie at your house initially that morning?
An hour or two. I'm not sure.
If you're not sure, you're not sure. So as far as people that were over your house that morning, do you have
Ooh, big
any idea
swallow.
sort of
Wait,
how long people were congregating around your house after that?
wait, she just did a big gulp, a big swallow. Let me, guys, prayers, thoughts and prayers for Shorty swiping it back by a very careful amount of time. Oh, I'm a professional. This is a little bit. This is a little bit. Shit's about to get serious, right? She's got to now, this is not just about the band and the high top tables. This is about shit about a murder. Say the right thing, Nicole. Big bad Brian A, right?
And do you know about what time that was or how long it was after the officers left that Mr. Higgins came over?
Could have been 15, 20 minutes. I feel like he came somewhere around 7:38, and maybe the link had been done by 7:15. If he was around 6:30, I'm not really sure of specifics.
Didn't you learn that one,
And,
Nicole?
what happened then?
Sus.
Then we were all just still kind of sitting there.
Making sure we had our
Kerry,
story straight.
who is another person that was called that morning, she had been at the hospital, so she was
Starring
kind of
it.
calling Jennifer, giving updates as to what was happening with John. So we were kind of waiting to hear how he was, if he was okay. Then around, I don't know if it was 8:30, I had noticed my sister-in-law, Julie, had pulled into the driveway, and I saw her get out, and she was putting a box of donuts in my son's car, whose birthday it
Sus.
was, because they had a bit between them where every year she did that. She got him donuts and she would leave them for him. So I saw her and I said to my husband, "Oh,
Objection.
Okay, not what you said to your husband. So wait for another question.
okay, sorry."
That's okay.
Spoke to your husband,
Unresponsive.
and where did he go?
He didn't ask a question.
He went to the door because Julie was about to get back in her car and leave, and I thought that she should be made aware of what was going on.
And so your husband goes to the door, and at some point, your sister-in-law, Julie, comes into the house.
Yes.
And if you know about how long a period was Julie at your house initially that morning?
Why would you?
An hour or two.
Or come out of the house. Why would you?
I'm not sure.
Obviously.
If
Weird.
you're not sure, you're not sure. So as far as people that were over your house that morning, do you have any idea sort of how long people were congregating around your house after that initial Miss McCabe bursting into your bedroom?
Again, it could have been between an hour and two.
And
That's a very broad time frame.
at some point, we mentioned that the Canton officers had indicated that you may be spoken to at some subsequent time by troopers from the state police, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And when was it that you, if you know, when was it in relation to this date that you spoke to anybody from the state?
I wasn't interviewed for a couple days later.
And do you recall?
I'm pretty sure that subscribers only mode is turned on at the moment. So if you would like to chat, if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be able to chat. And word on the street, thank you, Adam, is that I'm only 30 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. So maybe we'll get there this evening. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Love your faces. Let's keep going. Don't love Nicole's face, but it is what it is.
Oh, where you were when you were interviewed?
I was at my house.
Sorry. Yikes. I'm adorable, right? I'm a fucking delight.
With reference to, you indicated that on the way back from the waterfall to your house at Fairview on the night previous, on the 28th and the 29th,
Absolute
it
BS.
just started to snow. Is that correct?
Hmm. Yes.
Now, when you looked outside or opened the door for Officer Lank as he came into the house, what, if anything, did you observe as far as the weather and how it had changed in the interim?
Where
Well,
was it?
To me, it was
John?
starting to look like blizzard conditions. It was very windy. It was snowing. It was, snow was starting to come down a lot now, and it was probably a couple inches accumulated. And it was,
Now, at any point in time over the course of that day on the 29th, did you yourself, did you go outside from your house
No.
into the
Didn't
front
go
yard,
outside.
the driveway, or anywhere else?
I didn't.
And anyone else from your house, other than the people coming and going, the people that live there, did you observe them going out into the front of the house area?
No.
Suspicious. It's all fucking suspicious, right?
May I approach the woman?
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Pia. Thank you for the gifted memberships, gorgeous.
Ms. Albert,
Who got
I'm
them?
placing
Who got
before you
them?
a series of 8 photographs. I just asked you to look at them,
Hmm.
review them, and
Oh,
then just look up whenever you.
shit.
So
Wait.
he's already in evidence?
Fair enough.
Oh, Bev. God. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Pia, for the gifted memberships. That's so kind of you. Good timing when we're having a members only live tomorrow night at 9. Myself and Amy in Boston are going to do a good, the bad, and the ugly, a fun call-in show about all our relationship horror stories. But Cherie, yay, Mary Flynn, Anthony P, Dixie Normus, and Sammy. Mwah, welcome to membership. You're all little shorties. Yes, same. Woo, Dixie Normus. Woo. Exactly, Courtney. No, zero fucks given, right? An object, just
And just
stuff
to
it.
ask you, ma'am, in
The
general,
guy.
in those photographs, do you recognize what's in those photographs?
Yes.
Okay, what do you recognize those to be?
That's my front yard.
That was your front yard when you lived at 34
That's where we put
Fairview
the
Road.
body,
Yes.
right, Lally?
And
You
what's
know
contained in
that.
there is that a fair and accurate portrayal of around the time of January 29th,
Fun, isn't it, Pierre?
2022.
Yes.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth will seek to introduce, admit, and
Any objection, Ms. Little?
9 p.m.
No objection, Your Honor.
Eastern.
Thank you. Yes, please.
What? I don't know what you're talking about, John. You came in basically 5 minutes into the
No, the
live. We're
court's
good.
mission-
Hold on.
Oh,
We need to mark these.
Good morning, only fan in Singapore. Good to see you. We saw you at the start of stream, only fan. You were on the ceiling, spinning around. Yannetti. Love Misty Yannetti. I love them all. Fangirling. Fangirling. And then YouTube also put me on the blink for about 2 minutes and gave me a bloody heart attack. But we're back. We're good. We good.
How many were there, Mr. Lally?
Mr. Lally.
8, Your Honor.
Do you have an objection, Mr. Lally? Mr. Jackson. Right. Hi, Karen Reed is innocent. Good to see you. Well, actually, I don't know if we did. Pause. Clearly, I'm not of the subscriber numbers that Emily D. Baker has, so I don't have the capacity to create my very own Shorty app so that you all get timely and consistent notifications. However, we generally do drop a link in my Discord server. Adam, would you please drop the Discord server link? It's a fun place, information, fun stuff, memes, counting, and links to all our favorite channels. So yeah, if that's probably a more reliable and timely and notification platform than good old YouTube. One,
Thank you.
2. Are we counting in chat now, Lord?
May I approach this retreat?
Yes.
Oh. They're just awful. They're so classless, aren't they, Cherie? They're just trash. They're trash. And Karen is pure class, Fall River accent or not. I love her. Yeah, we all are shocking at counting. It's such a simple game. Successive counting, take turns.
One
We
moment, Your Honor.
fuck it up so
Yes.
many times a day. All right. Lally's going through his big pile of papers. Who have we got there? The usual suspects in the background. Craig at his tiny table.
Jurors, feel free to stand up and stretch if you'd like. Okay.
Stretch now before I turn off the fan. Yay, welcome Spacey Stacy to the Discord server. Woo! Agreed. No, I think she might have had a few drinks when she got home when she was pissed, cranky, pissed off, and wondering what the fuck. She wasn't falling over drunk. She's a tiny woman.
Yes.
What I'm showing here is what's been marked as exhibits 58, 59, 60, 63, and 64. And I'm gonna
Jen's vile because we know what she's like, right?
Just click on this button.
Mhm. Okay.
And Your Honor, with the court's permission, first I'd just like to start with exhibit 58 on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we're going through these now. We've so much water under the bridge, right? Since trial happened. And during trial, I mean, I know it from myself. I was mostly listening, not watching, because I listen with my earbuds in at work. I'm a road traffic controller in my peasant work shit job, which I love, but ugh. Come on now. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a known YouTuber. I need to be give me all the super chats. I'm joking. But it's really quite interesting, particularly to watch these. You know, we've gone over Brian Albert's testimony. Higgins, the crash daddies. You know, we've gone over so much of the testimony, almost ad nauseum, picked it to pieces. This Kerry Roberts, there's a few others. I'm going to do a few of these to go back, knowing what we know now, what we've learned since, everything that's happened since. You know, a lot has happened in what we have come to know and understand about, you know, Proctor, Bukaki, their menacing of witnesses, people, you know, citizens, the stuff that's coming out right now in Bettero's letters with regards to Aiden's ridiculous charges. We know so much now, and we're so much better educated and informed and versed on all of it. We've scrutinized a lot of this till the cows come home. But some of these testimonies, because they weren't so sexy, they weren't so spicy, and even if Alan Jackson or Yannetti wasn't cross-examining, creators didn't necessarily revisit them. So I think the Kerry Roberts one was really interesting. We noticed a lot of stuff. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it after this. Yeah, it's important. This is cool. I mean, cool. I don't know if it's cool. We're watching a woman lie on the stand about covering up a murder of an officer, but okay. Stacey, you will know
And
soon.
again, Ms. Albert, do you recognize what's up on the screen there?
Yes,
And what do you recognize there?
it was my home at the time.
And from this photograph,
See, while I have you all here, don't forget if you're outside of the States, November 10th is the next organized by Shorty, Australia-wide, but worldwide, Free Can Read Standout. 10th of November, it's a Sunday, 10 a.m. You don't have to be many. You can just be 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. From little things, big things grow. I'm going to start to get that, spruiking it on social media again soon. I've been kind of busy, but 10th of November, save the date. Yep.
do you see that front door area where the foyer is and the side door area that you were talking about on your house?
Yes.
If you could, using the laser
Oh,
pointer,
wait.
hand, just direct the jury's attention.
And thank you for the super chat. My bad. I just got all excited with my announcement. Thanks, gorgeous. Appreciate you very much. Mwah.
Where each of those are and indicate where they are.
That would be the very front door, and then the side doors over here in between.
And as far
Amazing.
as the, sort of what's
Of course.
in front
Love
portion
Aiden.
of this photograph, do you recognize that as if I'm standing and facing as this photograph is your house,
Mhm.
where you live at 34 Fairview Road? What, if anything, do you have as sort of a landmark or an item that you observe in that sort of left area of the yard?
Good to
Flagpole?
see you. Thanks for coming
Is there a
in.
fire hydrant there as well?
Yes.
And do you see anything as far as like a
Same.
box or something like that?
Yeah, I believe there was some electrical box that I don't think we ever actually knew what it was or what it did.
Oh, this woman.
Fair to say all the years that you lived there, it's not something that you utilized or even knew what it really did.
No.
Don't you think that's wild also that this was the family home? Am I right? Am I right? This was the family home before Brian, or am I thinking of Chris Albert's home? Maybe I am. It's wild to me that people could live somewhere for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and never be curious enough to wonder what something is. Just look at it and go, eh. But I mean, I'm not surprised that Nicole didn't, because she probably was just existing for the last 30 years of her life, 25.
Now, this particular area of the yard, in its relation to the house, was that a part of the yard that was used or utilized by the family all that much when you lived there?
No.
And that part of the yard where the fire hydrant, flagpole, that is,
Yes.
how close is
Thank you. I
that
thought
to
so.
sort of the
Yes,
next door
yes,
neighbors,
Yes.
abutting of the property?
It's pretty close. It's almost, I would say, on the, close to the property line.
Now, as far as from the side of the road, in between sort of the curbing from the roadway and your front lawn, there's nothing there as far as the sidewalk.
It's tiny, Anthony.
Right.
And the curbing that's between sort of the roadway.
So I think this perspective of this particular image shows best, from what I understand, the true limited space, the limited footage, yardage, meterage. It's a very small yard. I'm sorry. A lot of the ones from across the street and even Microdot's sort of computer generated images don't show it quite so well as this one does. I think particularly with the snow banked up like that, you get a better feel for it.
And the front
Tiny.
lawn, how would you describe that? Is it a sharp curb, rounded curb?
It was kind of a rounded curb.
Now,
Yes,
with
yeah,
reference
much bigger,
to
much
your
bigger.
driveway, do you see that depicted in this particular photograph?
You can't really see it in the picture, no. But I mean, it's would be over here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If I could direct your attention to the next
Exactly.
photograph that you have before you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have that one up on the screen as well.
Exactly.
And again, Ms. Albert, you recognize what's up on the screen?
Yes.
And this is just another photograph of your home as it was around January 2022 at 34 Fairview Road.
Yes.
And from this photograph, you see now sort of the driveway and where that is.
Yes.
And if you could just indicate to the jury sort of where in this photograph that would be.
The driveway was right here. the 2 garage doors, and then there was driveway right along here.
Now, in reference to
Her hand
that
is shaky,
driveway,
isn't it?
Or in reference to your family at
With
the
that
time
pointer.
that lived at the house, about how many cars would there typically be when everyone's home parked in the driveway?
Less. I think less. I reckon 20
could have
feet.
been 4.
I'm a meters
let me
girl, though.
think. 1, 2, 3. I think 4.
And who would those vehicles be typically operated by, and what kind of vehicles are we talking about?
I had my car, which was a Cadillac.
Have you hit the like button,
SUV.
chat?
My husband had his work car. And then we had, I think, a Ford Explorer. And then the
And
kids were
subscribe.
driving a Ford
Please.
Escape.
Ford
maybe?
Escape. What about the Ford Edge?
All sort of bigger cars, all sort of SUVs, is that
Yeah.
correct to say?
Yeah.
I don't think
If
that
I
they.
could direct
Oh,
your
at night, every
attention to,
night.
the next photograph.
I think they all probably sleep just fine. Maybe not Nicole, but she's got other things on her mind. Folks like the McAlberts don't really carry any weight of conscience on their shoulders. In again, it's a phrase that's thrown around often, but I would go so far as to say that most of these clowns are narcissists. I'd say Jen and Brian are both psychopaths, and narcissistic folk, psychopaths, in their mind, there is no question of any wrongdoing ever about anything. A narcissist can do no wrong in there. It's not that they consider it and then disregard it. They simply have no ability to accept or even narcissists do no wrong in their own mind. So they sleep just fine, guaranteed. Nicole, maybe not so much.
And again, what's up on the screen, is that what you have for you as the next exhibit?
Yes.
And just for the record, if you could read the number that's on that photograph now.
What about the Ford Edge?
60.
And again, what's up on the screen, is that just another depiction of your home at that time?
Yes.
Facts, not
Now,
Michael. Fact.
When you open that door and Officer Lank is there and you invite him into your house to talk, you said that you saw some cruisers, correct?
Mhm.
Where in relation to your property were the cruisers when you opened the door and saw them? If you could direct the jury's attention
Cruisers.
to the photograph.
Speak up, Lally.
believe they were
Nobody can hear you.
right here. Somewhere here.
If I could direct your
Ew,
attention to the
no,
next
no,
photograph.
cat, no. The clown Alberts.
And again, the photograph that's up on the screen, is that what you have before you?
Mhm.
And again, I'm sorry to keep asking.
6
Yes,
is good.
yes.
We're almost there.
Read the number that's on the photograph.
18 to go.
63.
And so exhibit 63 up on the screen, if you could describe to the jury sort of what part of your property or abutting property are we looking at?
Believe our property ended, somewhere along here.
So right about in the general area of the electrical.
Thank you,
box,
Michelle.
fire
Yes.
hydrant you were talking about.
The
Yeah.
bulkheads and the
Yeah.
concrete floor, possibly.
And that next door residence there, do you know offhand what the
Thank
number
you.
was for that?
I don't. Maybe 36? I'm not sure.
Somewhere in the vicinity of your number 34.
Yeah.
You don't know what number?
And if I could direct
Come on
your
now.
attention to
You've
the
lived
next
there all your
photograph.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Ludicrous.
64.
69. Sorry,
On
chat.
face.
I'm a perv.
So with respect to this photograph, as far as the sort of side door, do you see that in this photograph?
Yeah, the side door would be right here.
And there's sort of another door off to the right of the photograph, is that correct?
Yep, that door would go into the
Perhaps orange jumpsuit is the color that will give Nicole a little bit of flush to her cheeks, make her look a bit more alive.
garage.
Orange jumpsuit and some nice silver bracelets, right?
And typically, at least around this time of January, or late January
sorry.
2022, as far as the vehicles that you were talking
Yikes.
about, would any of those vehicles go in the garage?
The garage was a little bit cluttered, so if there was a storm coming, we would try to arrange things so we could at least maybe get 1 or 2 of the cars in there, but otherwise we
Hey,
didn't
Bob, good to see you.
put the cars in the garage.
And
Only if
yes,
it was gonna,
it is.
be a storm, we would try to get some of them out of the driveway.
And with reference to these specific dates, January 28th and the 29th, and this specific storm, do you recall anything as far as putting vehicles in the garage on those dates?
I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we had maybe put mine in there because I had gotten picked up that night. I'm not sure.
I mean, these two together, Lally and Coco, just ooze zero confidence, don't they? They don't have any, neither of them seem to have much of a spine. Sorry, Nicole. Not sorry, Lally. He doesn't speak with any conviction. I don't know how many of you have watched other trials, but this is not how a prosecutor or even just an attorney in general, this is not the standard of presentation, enunciation, elocution, confidence, pizzazz. He has none of the above. Ugh, such a drag. Thank God he's not going to be in the next trial. I mean, if there is a small blessing, it's that Lally will be out sucking on darts somewhere that isn't outside the Dedham Superior Courthouse, right?
And I believe, is there one more photograph that we have to talk about?
Thank you, ma'am, for the $2 super sticker. Chat.
58.
Hmm.
May I
Yes.
approach, John?
Yeah. No. Okay.
But he doesn't care, right? Canberra?
Now, in
He knows, but he
addition,
doesn't care. Making donuts.
let me ask you this. At this time in January of 2022, did your family have any pets?
Yes.
And how many pets did you have?
We had one. We had a dog,
What was the dog's name?
Chloe.
And what type of dog was it?
She's a German Shepherd mix.
And how long?
I'm not sure. She possibly. I think her affect is due to depression and trying to keep her composure under extreme pressure, both on the stand and knowing that her delightful husband was at home watching her testimony. Without a doubt, they all were. Watch party, of course, against the rules, but they were doing it for sure. So I don't even know whether, and I'm speculating here, but don't even know whether Brian would be like acquiescing to Nicole Albert taking any medication. He would say, "There's nothing wrong with you. Cheer up, Buttercup." Yeah. I don't reckon she's medicated. I just think that she hates life, her life, and I can imagine it would be quite a shitty existence. Still doesn't make it right to not tell the truth, but we've gone through that.
How long had you had the dog at that point?
About 6 years, I believe.
The dog, it. Here we go.
Do you recall
R.I.P.
sort of
Chloe.
when you got the dog, how you got the dog, or where you got the dog from?
We got the dog from a shelter in Texas.
And what
Right?
type of-
Crash Daddy's Cannon,
what
hey.
shelter, fair to say it's a
Right?
rescue dog.
Yes.
And
Possibly.
where did the dog
I love
typically
Valiant.
go with
So
it?
good. Haven't got any.
It
I
was
love it.
when it was allowed anywhere in the house.
And as far as nighttime, would there be any sort of particular pattern of where the dog would sleep?
Yes, at nighttime when we went up to bed, it came up with us and it slept in our bedroom.
And at any point in time, during the time from when you returned from the waterfall to your home, where was the dog at that?
Bless.
Well, the dog had been up in the room, and I believe my husband, when we first got in, brought her down to let her out to go to the bathroom.
And when the dog went out to go to the bathroom when you lived at 34 Fairview Road, where would the dog go? How would that dog leave?
Well, she pretty much she knew the door where to go. So when she had to go, she would go to that door and she would just go out and run in the backyard and go and on her own.
Chat, what do
On
you
her own
think? I didn't recall her, Nicole, switching to she from it. Someone in the chat mentioned earlier that they thought probably the use of it was a distancing thing, calling Chloe it, referring to Chloe as it, and the dog was perhaps for Nicole to distance herself from, what happened in the house. Obviously, those marks on Officer John O'Keefe's arms were not from a vicious Lexus taillight. But I had forgotten that Nicole, went to using she, a bit more humanizing. I wonder if she was instructed by the powers that be, Jen and Brian, to refer to the dog as it. Poor Chloe. And Steph, bless, if you really think, I mean, to me, Chloe's over the rainbow. I don't think she lasted much longer than a couple of days. No, what? There was an incident afterwards in May, 2 incidents, yeah? And after that, gone skis. She's gone. She's not in Vermont. She's over the rainbow.
And someone would sort of stand at the back door?
Yes.
And the back door that we're talking about, what kind of door is that?
It's a regular door.
I mean, is
Like-
it a door that opens? Is it a sliding door?
Oh, yeah, no, like just a regular door, and it had, I think, a storm door, behind it.
And the backyard area of your home in 34 Fairview, when you lived there and around January 2022.
Wait, did I miss something?
how
Oh,
was that
Cat Randall!
It was fenced in.
Boom!
So dogs couldn't get out if everything's closed up in the backyard.
Yes, as long.
So I was just busy, like, giving my little soliloquy on the other screen. And I missed Cat Randall gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Who got them? I see that Prince Lover got one. Congratulations. Let me just check. I'm such a professional. I am a professional. Fuck it, I am. OnlyFan got one. Prince Lover, Cambry, LA, and Helen S. Whee! Thank you, Kat, for gifting 5 memberships. Members only live tomorrow night at 9 if you are available, or you can catch the replay. Yay! Thank you, Kat. You're a man cat, and I love it.
As long as the gates were shut.
And as far as that particular evening, after you returned from the waterfall, you indicated your husband let the dog out. About how long a period of time was the dog outside?
I believe it was pretty quick. She went, did her business, and came back in. I think she might have walked around the kitchen for a minute or two, and then I think you just brought her back upstairs.
And to your knowledge, did
Fancy
Chloe,
font too, Kat.
did Chloe go outside at any other point over the course of that evening?
No.
Possibly.
Now, at some point, obviously you've moved from 34 Fairview to North, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And when
I
about
know.
was it in relation to this incident of January 29th, 2022 that you moved?
We moved in April of 2023.
And with any plans or discussions were there in reference to moving prior to January 29th?
Objection, Your Honor.
So not the specifics, but generally, not the conversation.
Yeah, I didn't remember it, Cherie.
We had always planned to move, but it was in our plans that, what kids were starting to get older, we were looking to possibly downsize. So at the end of 2021, my husband's brother had sold his house.
Objection.
No, I'm going
Go,
to allow that.
Liza. I'll allow it.
My husband's
Members,
brother had
there's
sold
an hour.
his
I'll
house
allow it in the chat.
and got a good deal for it. It sold pretty quickly. The market
Cool
was really
members
good at
only
that time.
emojis.
So we just started thinking, hey, the kids are getting older. A couple of them had already moved out. We weren't going to be able to stay in that house. It's like a 5-bedroom house. Once our kids were gone, my husband and I wouldn't have been able to maintain that. Needed a lot of work. We couldn't afford it. So we said, maybe now's the time we should put it on the market and see what happens. So I think in November, December.
So hold on. Next question, Mr. Lally.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
So you put it on the market, it sold, and then you moved.
Objection, leading.
Oh,
The
thank you,
objection
Cambry.
sustained. Ask a non-leading question.
When was it that the sale was?
Courtney
finalized?
W got one. Yay.
April of 23.
And as far as selling the house, what, if any, relationship did that have to what occurred on January 29th, 2022?
It had no relation to it. We had already had thoughts and plans of doing it before that happened. We had reached out to a realtor in the end of 21.
Yeah, one moment, Ron.
Yes.
Yes, well, she's her sister, yeah, so it makes sense they'll have similar mannerisms and facial expressions. Right, yes, right. Sus.
I have nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
All right.
Oh,
Ms. Lynn?
praise be the Jesus. Praise the Lord. Let's go, Liza. Let's go. Oh, hi, Laura. Good to see you. Jen's missing tooth.
Good afternoon, Ms. Albert.
Hello.
You were at the Waterfall Bar
Wait,
and Grill on January
pause.
29th for approximately 4.5 hours.
I also say sorry a lot. It's somewhat of a verbal tick. I have spent a lifetime kind of apologizing for my existence and for like trying to diminish myself. Not so much these days, but it is still something that I am in the habit of saying. But absolutely someone who is in her lifetime never really. She looks like she probably isn't given much praise, Nicole Albert, right? She looks like she does her best, and it probably is never good enough for a big old fuckhead like Brian Albert. And so I dare say she's conditioned, there's that word again, to be constantly apologizing so that she's not, to diffuse a situation. It would be absolutely in her vernacular to apologize a lot. And she does say, I'm sorry a lot. She says it a lot. I feel you, girl.
Is that
Let's
correct?
go, Liza.
I was there from say 7:45 till about midnight.
About 4 hours?
Yeah.
And you were there with a group of individuals, including Brian Albert,
Yes.
Jennifer McCabe,
Habits.
Matt McCabe,
Stemming from
Julie Albert,
apologizing
Chris
for oneself.
Albert, Caitlin Albert, and Tristan Morris, and then we're later joined by Brian Higgins, correct?
Yes.
Higgy.
Okay. You testified that John O'Keefe and Karen Reed joined your group around 11 p.m. Is that right?
Approximately.
Over the course of those 4 hours that you were there, did you see any sort of
Adam says to me relatively often, "Oh, there's no need to apologize." I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually not apologizing. It's just a force of habit. It's like me saying like or like, sorry, but Jesus Christ or something." But I absolutely apologizing for oneself comes from it's a habit, but it comes from somewhere. Like, why would you even get in the habit of saying I'm sorry if there wasn't the feeling that you needed to apologize for your existence, right? Yikes.
sort of tension whatsoever between John O'Keefe and Ms. Reed?
Well, no, they were only there for an hour when I was there, but I didn't have really any interaction with them. But no, I didn't see anything.
So based on your observations, everyone appeared generally happy and in good spirits, correct?
Yes. Yep.
At any point while you were at the Waterfall Bar and Grill, did you observe Karen Reed stumbling, slurring her words, or otherwise appearing to be under the influence?
I did not, but again, I never engaged in any sort of conversation with her.
Ernie.
Did you observe your husband and Brian Higgins engaging in sort of practice fighting techniques while you were at the Waterfall Bar and Grill?
I saw them fooling around with each other. Yeah.
Okay.
Grab assin.
Your Honor, if I could show just a screenshot of a video that's been previously marked.
A screenshot of it? Sure.
Have you hit the like, chat?
May I
Don't forget to hit the like.
Yeah, so can you take this down just until the witness has it, please? I thought you were just showing the screenshot. You want to show it up here?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So what are you doing
Should
with
we
it?
mark that?
17 more subscribers to 6,000. Let's do it.
I
Let's do
don't
it.
think there's a need to. I thought you were showing something to the juror that you were just going. Yeah.
Just let Liza do her Liza-ing. God, Bev. Rude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we will mark it for identification. All right.
Ms. Albert, do you
So hold on, we need to, so we'll mark it for identification. So we'll take it from the witness for a minute, please.
Same, Havana's mom.
Sorry.
We'll mark it for
Havanese.
identification, but this is incorporated in what exhibit number?
I believe it's
Havanese mom,
exhibit
mom.
50
That's a tough one.
53, Your Honor.
All right, just so our record's clear.
Thank you.
One screenshot is W for identification.
Thank you. All right, so now you can,
Your Honor, if I may, I haven't seen what the witness is looking at.
okay?
Fuck off, Lally.
Thank you.
You don't even know. You don't care.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
All right, so
Lally.
you want to display it on the screen now, Ms. Little?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sure, go right ahead.
None of it is normal, Kat. This is very odd. The whole thing is
Ms. Albert,
odd.
do you see the two individuals sort of in the closest frame to us with their backs turned to us? Two males?
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard to see.
All right, here we
Yeah.
go. Pay
Who
attention,
is,
y'all.
The man that has just been zoomed in with the logo on the back of his sweatshirt.
Revolting Higgins.
I believe that's Brian Higgins.
Okay. And then the person that
15 to go, chat. 15 to 6K.
the person with that sweatshirt is, you said, Brian Higgins.
I think. Yeah, it's a little hard to tell.
Over the other individual who's sitting right next to him.
I'd go so far to say that Bev is one of the mean girls, right? Bev is one of the mean girls. Not to pass comment on people's appearance, because you can't help how you're born and how you look to a certain degree. But Bev, as a younger woman, like, she's better looking now than she was then, with all due respect, Bev. But you know, Bev seems to be quite a control freak, and I think that she would feel threatened by younger, beautiful, intelligent, successful, accomplished females. Very good point, Ms. Adventurous Bookmouse, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it.
I know this is kind of hard to see because the number's blocking it.
Yeah.
But does that appear to be your husband to the left, kind of in a fighting stance?
Yeah, I think so.
The Queen of
Ms. Albert,
Turds, you know.
when your husband drinks, does he often
So I'm sorry, are we taking this down?
Hi,
or keeping it
Caveman.
up?
Good to see you.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Albert, when your husband drinks, does he often get into sort of these practice sparring, practice fighting stances? Is that common for him?
Objection.
No, I'm going to allow it.
No, I don't think so.
So this type of behavior was unusual for him.
I mean, Steph, to me, that seems like a sensible thing to do. Wouldn't a lot of problems be solved if guys just sat down to pee? There'd be no splashback. There'd be no mess. There'd be no seat left up. Just saying, guys. Just a suggestion. I don't even live with guys. I live by myself and the dogs. Even Bussy doesn't lift his leg to pee. He does it very respectfully. He just sort of squats a little bit and lifts his paw just a tiniest little bit.
No, I think they were just fooling around. I don't
Grab
think
ass.
there was anything much to it.
They weren't playful.
My question was, is it unusual for you to see him sort of practice fighting?
I wouldn't call that practice fighting. I think they were just fooling around. And yeah, maybe I've seen him do that other times, but it was fooling around. They weren't practicing.
Grab ass and.
Let me put this a different way.
Oh, really,
You do know
Margaret?
that your husband is a highly trained fighter, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
I'll allow it.
Absolutely not.
I'll allow it's in the chat.
Your husband has no fighting experience whatsoever?
A highly trained fighter? No,
Yes.
he's not.
He was on
He
Boston's
has
Finest.
boxing experience,
Boxing.
correct?
Come on now,
Objection.
Coco.
So I'm going to see you at sidebar on this, please.
Jesus, Lally. I'm just sitting back waiting patiently till someone starts talking, and I think the person that will start talking will be Nicole Albert or Sarah Levinson. I believe it will be Sarah. I think she's going to break. I think her family are probably very worried about Sarah Levinson. Pierre says if she could pee standing up, she would. There are things called a she-wee. Go for it, Pierre. Amazon, I'm sure. My grandpa tried to get my dad to kneel to pee. Ernie, that sounds like an odd suggestion, but okay. How many times has she been on the receiving end of it? Yeah, right. Dry humping? I don't know what that's referring to, but I don't want to think about Lally dry humping. I don't want to think about Lally at all. Bev only wants to take videos down to interrupt the flow of defense attorneys. Absolutely. Bev did things right from the jump to cause havoc, getting them to renumber their exhibits was absolutely a calculated move by Bev. Misadventurous Bookmouth, thank you again. How about the kissing with Higgins? Was that regular grab ass and two? Who was it? I can't remember where that was, on what channel. Someone speculated, one of us in this little corner of YouTube, this free Karen Reid movement, speculated that maybe they were mocking the kissing that Karen gave Higgins in John's the garage, the doorway out of the view of the camera. Taunting John with a little kiss. Thank you for the super chat. Mwah. I'll be able to get more lip gloss.
Ms. Albert, your husband has boxing experience, correct?
Yes.
He also has fighting experience from his training in the military, correct?
I don't know what fighting experience from the military means.
Well,
I mean, he was in the Marine Corps. He was out of the Marine Corps in 1992.
But he had training through the Marine Corps and through the Boston Police Department with fighting and defensive tactics, correct?
I assume so.
You've been married to him for 20 years, girl. 25 years. Come on now.
Ms. Albert, you testified earlier that you left the waterfall around, I believe, 11:45. Is that correct?
No, I said I think closer to 12.
Okay. Could I show you what's been previously marked as Exhibit 53? Your Honor, could I have permission to publish Exhibit
I'll check it
53?
out.
Okay.
And Mr. Bates, if I could have you start the video at 5:14.
Boston's finest, right? It's in the intro. It's in the rolling intro. Peacocking. Yes. Yes.
This video?
All right. Let's watch
No,
this.
I don't.
Oh,
Do you
here
see
we
the
go.
woman that's in the lower quadrant? Do you recognize that individual at all?
I don't. It's so I can't tell who that is.
I know this is not the best video, so I'll play a little bit more and see if you might be able to recognize it. You don't recognize who that individual is?
I mean, it could be me. I'm not sure. I can't really tell.
Babe.
All right. So this is an instance where the video has to speak for itself, right?
Okay, wait, Bev. There's another instance of Bev. Rules for thee and not for me. So no narrating the video when on cross-examination. But what did Bukaki do? Narrated the whole bloody thing when Lally was at the helm. Well, I don't think Lally is the captain of anything, but that was okay. I'll allow it, said Bev. She had no problem with that editorializing. But here, nah. We'll just let the video, the very clear, beautifully high resolution video speak for itself. Thanks, Bev. Nice.
You can play it just for a little bit longer. Good pause. Did you recognize the woman that just sort of walked forward?
Yes. Now seeing the coat, I recognize that it's me.
Thank you. And did you see what was in your hand when you walked by?
I don't.
Come on now. Yikes. Exactly. It only says yikes.
Ms. Albert, do you see you appear to be holding something?
Yes.
What is that?
Looks like a can.
And what time is that video taken?
Wild.
11:58.
Wild.
That would have been approximately the time that you were leaving the Waterfall Bar and Grill.
Yep.
You guys had a fun night. It looks like you kind of grabbed the White Claw. You're about to leave. Is that correct?
Yes.
We've got another one coming soon. I've just got to work it out with our schedule.
You testified earlier that you got home.
So can we turn the lights back on and okay.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Bev.
Okay.
Bev's so infuriating. Horrid woman. Corrupt, awful woman.
Let me switch gears a little bit. You testified earlier that there are 4 cars that are usually parked in the driveway at 34 Fairview.
4
correct?
cars.
Yes.
And you listed at least the make and model of about 3 of those vehicles.
Yeah.
What about the Ford Edge, Nicole?
Yep.
You said there's a Cadillac that usually is parked in your driveway, there's a Ford Explorer, and there's a Ford Escape, correct?
She
But you
has
also
no
said there's
identity.
a 4th car. That's your husband's work vehicle.
Yes.
What
Yep.
is it though?
What type of car is that?
That's a Ford Edge.
Oh.
A black Ford Edge.
Yes. Yep.
Is there a reason that you didn't want to state or commit to that in front of this jury when you originally testified?
No.
Adam, yes. Do you remember the testimony of Nicole Kolakithis saying that Jen, I have a short on it, actually. There's a short where Jen said, you're coming with me to Karen Reed. And Karen said, where are we going? And she said, it's a surprise. Sus, huh? I mean, who knows whether it was, I don't feel like it was a premeditated murder. I feel like it was a premeditated altercation that turned out to be a murder. But yeah, you're coming with me. You're coming with me. It's a surprise. Yeah.
No reason. I was just trying to think of all the different cars. We have 5
Cars.
kids. We've had a lot
Cars.
of different vehicles.
Kaz.
I was just saying it as I remembered it.
News coverage in this case has revealed the importance of a Ford Edge.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
In your mind, a Ford Edge has significance to this case, doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor.
No, can you answer that? Does a Ford Edge have significance in this case to you?
I've heard it talked about. Yeah.
Oh,
And what
okay,
I've
wait.
heard talked about is that an eyewitness saw.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to stop you.
Ah, fuck off, Bev. Did you watch what she says? She holds her mask. Watch how she says what she says and her facial expressions in the moments after she says, I know the Ford Edge has some significance. Yeah, next to Aiden. And Lucky. Can I do it? Yeah, I can do it. I think I did it.
That you got home.
So can we turn the lights back on and?
Righto, Bev.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Watch this answer. Watch her face. I'll say nothing.
Let me switch gears a little bit. You testified earlier that there are 4 cars that are usually parked in the driveway at 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes.
And you listed at least the make and model of about 3 of those vehicles.
Yep.
Do you recall that?
Yep.
You said there's a Cadillac that usually is parked in your driveway, there's a Ford Explorer, and there's a Ford Escape, correct?
Yep.
But you also said there's a 4th car. That's your husband's work vehicle.
Yes. Yep.
What type of car is that?
That's a Ford Edge.
A black Ford Edge.
Yes. Yep.
Is there a reason
Licking
you
her
didn't
lips?
want to state or commit to that in front of this jury when you originally testified?
No, there's no reason. I was just trying to think of all the different cars. We have 5 kids. We've had a lot of different vehicles. I was just saying it as I remembered it.
News coverage in this case has revealed the importance of a Ford Edge.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
In your mind, a Ford Edge has significance to this case, doesn't it?
Objection, Your Honor.
No, can you answer that? Does a Ford Edge have significance in this case to you?
I've heard it talked about. Yeah.
And what you've heard talked about is that an eyewitness saw.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to stop you on that. The objection sustained.
So I know some people think the body language is a bullshit thing and that it doesn't say anything. I beg to differ. We all have eyes. We all have interactions with humans. She kind of acquiesced on the there is some brain fart, some significance of the Ford Edge. She's heard it talked about, and then she kind of goes, she's licking her lips throughout. Licking your lips is generally like like she's. This is a tough section for Nicole. And Lally is objecting like a motherfucker. He's finally doing his job. There should be objections. This Lally is actually doing his job well here. Surprisingly, as an attorney, he seems to even have done those objections without Bev giving him any sign to do so, which is pretty impressive for little lollipop, lollibotomy.
Ms. Albert, you know there's significance to the Ford Edge, and that's the one
Objection,
thing
Your Honor.
that you did not mention in your initial testimony, correct?
So I'm going to allow that question. Can you answer that?
I just was trying to think of all the different makes and models. I did not purposely say that.
Liar! Oh, and then she's like, and she's like, fuck my life. He's gonna bash me.
Where did your husband strike that? You testified earlier that you weren't sure exactly where Brian Higgins parked that night when he arrived at your house, correct?
Right.
And you said, I'm not sure, but then you gave a pretty vivid description about him being parked, you think, in front of the house by the mailbox facing away from your residence, correct?
Right. Yep.
Is that statement something that's from your personal recollection?
Is it anger or is she starting to feel some dread because this is the shit that's important. Important that she gets this right. Why? Well, look who's at home waiting for her to assess how she did on the stand, right? Would you want to fuck up with this, with that man waiting at home? Ugh, I don't think she's angry. I think she's terrified and dread. It looks like dread to me. Her demeanour.
Election, or for something that you've discussed with other witnesses in this case?
No, it's from my personal recollection of what I'm pretty sure I remembered. He pulled in first, he backed out so we could pull in, and then I'm pretty sure he pulled out and parked along the curb where the mailbox was.
So you haven't discussed that statement with any other witnesses in this case?
So in terms of objections, usually, usually a regular judge will, like, if the opposing attorney objects before the question has finished being delivered, the judge, the court will say, let him finish or her finish her question, and then the court, the judge will make a ruling as to whether it's sustained or allowed. I'll allow it. So it's not uncommon for attorneys to pipe up with an objection if they can sense where the question is going, because to quote Emily D. Baker, you can't put the shit back on the horse. And while the jury are instructed at times to disregard questions and told that attorneys' questions are not evidence and cannot be taken as being fact, once words have been uttered, you can't unring that bell. So again, Lally is kind of doing his job here. Ugh, I hate to say.
I don't remember. I don't
Liar.
think so.
You testified earlier that when you arrived at 34 Fairview, your son, Brian Albert Jr. was there, Julie Nagel was there, Sarah
Possibly.
Levinson was there.
Oh, she's tough.
And that your nephew, Colin Albert, was also present, correct?
Hi, Scott.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Okay. Can you describe sort of your interaction with Colin Albert when you walked in the door?
Agreed,
It
Prince
was
Lover.
literally, I was coming in. I think we almost bumped into each other. I said, I didn't realize he was there. I said, hey, what are you doing here? He said, oh, I just come by to see Brian, but my ride's on its way.
So Scott McGuinness is in the house. Good to see you, Scott. Thank you for dropping by. I said earlier in the stream that on Saturday night, I've got hosting a panel of Aussie Insider, Scott McGuinness, and Scott, it's been a wild morning, or my morning, your evening. We've swapped out Boozy Beauty for this week for Nurse Kim, so it'll be the three of you guys as my panelists and me as the host. And we'll talk all things, whatever you guys want. We could probably more sensibly set some sort of parameters, but if you're around on Saturday night, everybody, 7 Eastern, stop on by. It should be good. If you haven't heard Scott speak before, where have you been? Under a rock. He knows all things and has amazing insight. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Thank you, Scott.
That's why I'm about to leave. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, all right, I see ya. And he just kind of continued on. I think he must have went out the door.
So when you first testified, I believe you stated that you saw Colin seated at the table with Brian Jr., correct?
When I testified, when?
Earlier today.
I don't believe I said that.
Shortly after he got up.
No, I don't believe I said that.
You never said that he was initially seated with Brian Jr.
No, I'm pretty sure I said when I walked in, I immediately saw him.
So when you walked in the door, you're saying he was already leaving to go get his ride, correct?
He was standing and looked to me like he was getting ready for someone who was coming to pick him up.
Got it. And when you pulled up with Brian Higgins and Brian Albert, that all happened around the same time, correct?
Yes.
And you have never mentioned seeing any other vehicle waiting outside the house for Colin when you arrived, correct?
No.
It really isn't. Ernie's one of the most beautiful people I've ever met.
No, I'm not saying he said to me, my ride's almost here. I'm leaving. So I didn't see anything outside about his ride.
Have you noticed she's turtling also? She's curling her shoulders in. She's starting to, she's like this. She's protecting herself with her body posturing. She's feeling under attack, as one should, on cross-examination, and there's a lot riding on this. Yeah, she's an important witness.
And it was cold outside that night.
Yeah.
So he.
No shit, it was a fucking blizzard.
I don't know if he went and stood and waited by the door. I came in the house, and like I said, I immediately said hello to my son, his friends. I went and started doing my cleaning, and I didn't really pay attention. But I assume he left because I never saw him again.
So you're not sure if he was sort of standing by the front door?
I'm not sure. I mean, he could have been standing there waiting. He said his ride was about to be there.
Okay.
Nobody, literally nobody, Lisa. Nobody.
I did not see him leave.
Here.
You testified that your German Shepherd, Chloe, was also at the house when you arrived home on January 29th, correct?
Yes.
Julie, we've done, when this is when we're finished, go back and watch the start of the stream if you can. We've spoken a lot about, well, I've spoken a lot, that's my thing, about my opinion on Nicole Albert and where a lot of this comes from. No pass on lying and covering up a murder and framing an innocent woman. However, I do have empathy or pity for the life she's clearly had to lead. And whoever said that, well, wait, let me get back on the screen. I think it was even Julie. No, who was it? Someone said you, Julie. Very likely abused by her husband and sister. Yes, she was. She's been, in my opinion, she's the downtrodden one. She just has to go. She has to comply. She's been conditioned and bullied and coercively controlled her whole life by all these dominant people in her life. I don't think that Coco is a narcissist. I think that she is not a victim. She's she's complicit. But she does what she's told, in my opinion. It's just sad that she's so conditioned to do that she hasn't got the ability, in my opinion, to be able to do the right thing. But we'll see. She's
a large German Shepherd.
Yep, about 70 pounds.
She's not great with strangers.
I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say that it's kind of a poorly worded question. Would you say that she's good with strangers?
I'd say she's fine with strangers.
Fine with strangers. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, fine with strangers.
Definitely not good with other animals, is she?
No, she did not like other dogs.
Chloe actually has a well-documented bite history, doesn't she?
Objection.
Does she?
With dogs. A couple dogs, yes.
Ms. Albert, she also has a bite history with humans, doesn't she?
Objection.
Ask that differently.
It's all relative, right, Lisa? Nice.
Ms. Albert, Chloe has
I feel for
other
her.
humans, hasn't she?
Objection.
I'm going to allow that.
In one incident in May of 22, when she got out and was fighting with another dog, the woman whose dog it was tried to break up the two dogs. And while she was trying to break up the two dogs, she got injured.
There are actually two individuals who were injured in that incident, correct?
Well, there was two women, but I believe just one woman, from what I understand, had an injury.
I'm sure
Chloe.
they've talked.
The other one may have fallen or something, but I'm not sure 100%.
There were two women who were actually taken to the hospital after that incident, correct?
Yes, a neighbor had called the police or called an ambulance just to make sure they were okay.
And you mentioned that Chloe had actually escaped from the backyard.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that happens from time to time at your house, correct?
It had happened a few times, yes.
And
absolutely,
Mr.
Scott.
Albert let
Absolutely.
Chloe out when he arrived that night, correct?
Yep.
Jen! I can't even do it.
Ms. Albert, you don't have Chloe anymore, do you?
Nope.
She's over the rainbow. I mean, in Vermont.
May of 2022, 4 months after Mr. O'Keefe's death, you got rid of your family dog of 6 years.
Objection.
Oh, is that true? Is that when you got rid of your dog?
I did not get rid of my dog. I rehomed my dog.
Your dog
Have you
is
hit
no
the
longer
like?
in the Canton
Thumbs
area,
up?
correct?
No, but
Subscribed?
I know where she is. She's in
Please?
Vermont. And that previous testimony, that information has all been given.
Yes.
So if she was ever needed for anything, we know where she is.
Was that testimony given to the defense?
Probably.
Was I present at the hearing where you testified about this?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Your Honor, can we approach?
Sure.
Did not happen. Did not happen. Jan! No. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up, Julie. Yay! And I think we are now, just let me see, how close are we to 6K subscribers? 12. 12 people. 12 of you. Hit subscribe. I swear, it's worth it. I'm a fucking delight. Anyway, thank you for being here. Okay, what have we got here? Yes, Margaret doing the maths. Over 260 watching. Help support. Beautiful, brilliant. Oh, Miss Shorty, and punch that like button as if it's Brian Albert's face. It's free, right? Yeah. Cost you nothing to hit the like and hit subscribe. What do we got here? Yeah, they get a lot of shit from people. Good. There's beautiful Kelly Reed there. The beautiful Reed family. Others, folks. Yeah, where is Chloe? Where is Chloe, Coco? Where is it? Where is the dog? I don't know. I think that people sometimes, you know, they convince themselves. They tell themselves those lies so many times. Yes, MCAT, yes. Did we get there? Almost six more subscribers, like 6? It's hardly any. It's like this many. Let's do it. Shorties, let's do it. I am. I've even got a fucking delight emote for members. Let me put it because
Okay.
it's just me.
Ms. Albert, you're aware that we actually sought records regarding Chloe and her bite history, correct?
Objection,
This
Your Honor.
close, Ernie, this close.
Was it from this witness?
It was.
That's a yes or no from there. Yes or no?
Well, it was from a custodian.
Okay. I'm going to sustain the objection.
Facts, Cherie, absolutely.
All right, Ms. Albert, I want to direct your attention back to the early morning of January 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Michael.
You testified that
Yay.
everyone who arrived at your house just after midnight was sort of generally gathered at the table in the kitchen area.
Oh,
correct?
yeah, she's
Yes.
mean.
And over the course of that evening, you had never heard any sort of.
I agree she's mean. You know that old adage, hurt people hurt people? I don't think that's a universal saying, but I think, I mean, look at the gene pool that Coco comes from. She's Jen McCabe's sister, for fuck's sake. She's obviously going to be not a nice person. She got herself involved with, married to, and long-term, you know, Brian Albert. They're not great people, obviously. And but that's, you know, a dog sneers and snarls when it's under attack. It's a very primal reaction. She is under attack right now. So a snarl or a sneer, kind of understandable, very primal.
Sort of disruption inside, correct?
No.
You didn't hear a crash. Certainly
There
never
needs
heard-
to be an answer.
Sorry, no.
You certainly never heard.
Sorry, no. Thank you, Mrs. Ventress Bookmouse. I genuinely think that she gets upset about accusations of abuse towards Chloe. Dead guy on the front lawn. Oh, sorry, that's not funny. Dead guy on the front lawn, not her problem. Didn't care about her dog. I don't know. I think her apathy suggests that she's highly depressed. You know, depressed people, ugh, not giving her a pass. Not giving her a pass. But thank you for the super chat, though. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's infuriating. These people have no heart. They're cold-blooded killers that seem to sleep quite well at night, didn't come out of the house, didn't go render any assistance, or obviously not, because they were the murderers, allegedly. Definitely.
Never heard any screaming or yelling.
No.
Nope. No
And you
screaming,
never
no
heard the
yelling.
screech of any brakes outside, correct?
Nope.
Correct.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Okay. On July 20th, 2023, you testified before a grand jury, and Mr. Lally was not there, correct?
I mean, she looks like she's dead inside, right? So of course she's got no emotional attachment to anything. She's probably severed all of her emotions as a coping mechanism, right? How could you continue to let yourself feel in that household? Ugh, I'm sure she's anyway. I'll stop with the pity party for Nicole Albert, but
And Ada McLaughlin was also not there, correct?
Okay.
Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you were specifically asked
Three
during the
more!
course of that
Three
hearing
more subscribers.
where everyone was positioned around the table that night.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that sort of line of questioning?
Yeah.
And you explained that your sister Jennifer was seated next to Brian Jr.
Objection. Is there a question?
We're getting that question, so go ahead.
Yeah,
You were
Lally,
very
sit the fuck
specific about
down.
kind of how people were
Shut the
seated
fuck
at
up.
that table that night. Do you remember that testimony? You explained that Jennifer was seated next to Brian Jr. and Matt McCabe was across from him. Do you recall that?
Yep.
But when you were asked
Thank you.
where your husband and Brian Higgins were positioned at the table, you weren't able to place them there.
Very incestuous.
Not true.
Yes.
Because I don't believe they ever sat at that table.
And what you told the grand jury during that hearing was that at least at one point, they had left the room and they were outside of your view, correct?
I'm not sure I said that.
Scott, I look forward to hearing the boots on the ground intel from that. Free Turtle Boy, huh? Free Turtle Boy. Jill Daniels and Jim Farris get it arraigned tomorrow for assaulting Turtle Boy. I'm very glad that that the powers that be didn't let that one slide. You have to get up at 6 a.m., Scott. Safe travels. I'm sure you'll be carrying your flag, right? What shirt are you wearing? I look forward to seeing you on, I presume, Tommy CPU's live stream and talking to you on Sunday night at 7. Thank you for dropping by. Have a good sleep. Back to it.
Told the jury that you were
Wow, look at her facial expression right now. She's concentrating so damn hard. Look at her. Ay, dirty paws. Sorry, not sorry, Nicole. Eesh.
cleaning and you weren't sure where they went, correct?
Well, initially when I first came in the house and I was doing my thing, I don't remember exactly where
And you
they were.
told the grand jury that you don't recall seeing them at the table, but you don't recall where they went because you were kind of focused on cleaning, correct?
Right.
And there was one point at which you said that you joined them in family.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. But while you were cleaning, you said, I don't really know what they were doing, but they weren't there, correct?
Tommy CPU
Yes.
will be streaming it for sure, Kim. Absolutely.
So you recall
Seeking
your husband
justice.
and Brian Higgins left your view and went to some other place in the house that evening.
Oh, stop.
They could have.
Stop. Sorry, guys.
Ms. Albert, how many steps is it?
Feel like it's sacrilegious to be jumping for joy gleefully whilst reviewing the lying complicity of a murdering accomplice. However, we did it. 6,000. Oh, thank you. Yay. How exciting. I started this channel in late December, early January of like just, 10 months ago. It's been a wild ride, y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you for being shorties. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the love. Let's keep going. We're not just gonna do it, Adam. We did it. Huzzah! Back to the sadness of Nicole Albert and her drudgery and her lying.
Is it from the front door to the basement?
Steps.
Yes, steps, bitch.
It's a poorly worded question. I will rephrase it.
It wasn't,
When you
Liza.
open the front door of your house,
Uh-huh.
how many steps does it take to get to the door to the basement?
4 or 5.
I only lived there all my life, but I'm not quite sure. She's getting tired now. Nicole's getting tired. I bet you she didn't sleep well last night. Well, not last night. Well, probably any night. Nicole, of any of them, I think would probably be having affected sleep by all of this. But she's starting to get tired. She has to really concentrate. It's exhausting, one would assume. maintaining this level of composure with the dread and the fear and the everything riding on it. And I mean, listening to Lally, answering Lally's ridiculous questions with all the words, unnecessary words, sort of. And then now Liza, boom, boom, boom. Love you, Liza. Hey, Poppy.
You testified earlier that Brian Higgins left 34 Fairview first, correct?
Yes.
Then Matt McCabe, Jennifer McCabe, Sarah Levinson, and Julie Nagel left together, correct?
Yes.
And the very last person to leave your house that night, you said today,
Poppy.
under oath, was
Don't lick
your
me, I love
daughter,
you. Don't
Caitlin,
lick me.
correct?
Yes.
And you said she left your house close to 2 a.m. Is that right?
Literally. Tommy CPU
Robert,
will live
that's
stream
not
it.
what you
Yes.
told Sergeant Lang
Seeking
on
justice.
January 29th, 2022, is it?
I don't recall what I told him.
Would it refresh
Thank
your
you, Nana
recollection
Robin.
to take a look at your statement to Sergeant Lang?
Sure.
Hey, wait.
May I
While I
first
think of
witness,
it.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Oh, no, I'm going to skip it back to the start again. Accidentally. No, wait. While I think of it, Nana Robin. Gee, I love your display picture right there. I love your display picture on your thing. While you're all here, let me spruik my wares for a moment. That looks familiar. Look at that. Snap. If you would like one of these custom designed free Karen Reed, designed by me, limited edition vinyl stickers, Poppy wants one too. All you need to do is make a direct donation to Karen's Defense Fund or her Venmo or PayPal. Take a screenshot of your receipt. $10 to up to $50 will get you one sticker. $50 to $100 will get you two. And if you donate over $100, you'll get three. Can I just say, USPS is a motherfucking snail of a bitch of a postal service. It takes 3 weeks sometimes, even longer, for my US helpers they send them out the next day. But depending on where my helper is and where you live in the States, it's a bloody long time. I have some in Australia still. So if you're in Australia and you want one, same. All you need to do is screenshot the receipt and either email me or DM me on Twitter or Facebook or Discord and tell me your address and your preferred contact name if you want to use your screen name. It's safe. All my helpers are trusted. 11 helpers in the States. I think there's 120 or so left of them. I didn't think it would take this long to upload these bad boys. I thought they'd fly out the door. So helpers are still out, but once they're gone, they're gone. We've raised over $2,000 already for Karen's Defense Fund through this. So it's cost me a bit of money to run the thing, but that's not the point. I don't touch the money. There's no grift here. Zero grift. I ain't got no grift. Free Karen Reed. And Nana Robin has that as her display picture. Cool, huh? Keep going. Keep going. Not sure, Dewey. Shut up, Lally. Everything about you is awful. Your integrity is very questionable also, sir. And you smoke too many darts out in the steps on the disabled ramp, on the wheelchair ramp.
Okay, I'd like to direct your attention to page 2 of this supplemental.
Would you show the prosecutor, please?
Yes.
Just the campus report.
Thank you.
Your Honor, may
Thank
we
you.
approach this
We did
briefly?
it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did it. Teamwork makes the dream work, babe. We did it. Sidebar. Yes. Thank you. Cool, huh? I gotta be honest, 2,000 of my subscribers came from one short, which interestingly, got 2 million, over 2 million views now. One short. It's not a Karen Reed short. It's a Justice for Dan Markell, a Charlie Adelson short. Actually, it's Wendy Adelson. But I
Ms.
kind of
Little, maybe
cheated.
You can
2
clarify
million
that.
views, 2,000 subscribers for one short. Pretty cool.
May I approach?
Yes.
Okay. Like you
10
said,
years, huh? Cool.
too.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to read it out loud, but if you could read this very last paragraph here,
Down hit 7. Or
actually, this section right here,
Okay.
the second paragraph to the bottom. And you
mhm.
don't need to read it out loud, just look up once you're done.
And are you going
Oh,
to clarify that, Ms.
wait.
Little? Statement?
Oh,
It won't be streamed inside the court, right, Scott? Sorry, I clarified. But I presume that Tommy will be there doing the outside the court stuff? Yes? No? We shall see. I should check Seeking Justice with Tommy and Boston Mike. Inside the court, probably not so much. Well, we'll get the spice, though, the download later.
how can I approach, Your Honor?
D-
Ms. Albert, this is just a police report containing an interview that was conducted, correct?
Yep.
Indeed.
With
What a weight
Sergeant
to
Lang on
carry.
January 29th, is that right?
Yes, the morning of.
Thank you. Have you had a chance to?
Yes,
is your
yeah.
recollection- excuse me, is your recollection refreshed?
Yep.
Isn't it true that you told Sergeant Lang that your daughter left at 12:15?
Okay, here we go. This is important. Pay attention.
I
Pay attention.
do not recall saying that. I've maintained in every interview testimony I've had that she was the last to leave. So I don't know. It was very
So I must
confusing
be
that morning.
lying.
Officer Lank was trying to ask everybody, where had you been? Where had you been? When did you get here? When did you leave? I don't know if somehow it was misconstrued, but I've always maintained that Caitlin was the last to leave.
Understood. And that's because Sergeant Lang was talking to everyone at the same time, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting around the table. It was a little, everyone was, we're all in shock and it was a little confusing.
Sure. It was more
A
of
little
a
confusing, huh?
conversation than an
Getting
interview,
our
is that
story
right?
straight was confusing.
I guess you could say that.
May I approach?
Yes.
Wait. I'm going to go back a little bit. Sorry. Shut up, Lisa. Stop talking over the top of the testimony. Sorry, guys. I'm a professional. It kills my life when other people talk over the top of it. So here's me doing the
Fusing
very
that
same.
morning, Officer Lank, Officer Lank was trying to ask everybody,
Do that on purpose.
where had you been? Where had you been? When did you get here?
Let's pay attention to this because we're talking about Lanka. You're done.
When did you leave? I don't know if somehow it was misconstrued, but I've always maintained that Caitlin was the last to leave.
Understood. And that's because Sergeant Lang was talking to everyone at the same time, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting around the table. It was a little,
Sus.
everyone was, we're all in shock and it
All
was a
right.
little confusing.
Sure. It was more of a conversation than an interview. Is that right?
I guess you could say that.
May I approach?
Yes.
Ms. Albert, do you deny saying that to Sergeant Lang?
I don't believe I said that. I think maybe someone was saying, oh, Jen and Matt got there at 12:15. He misunderstood. It got misconstrued later in his notes. But I've always said, in any other time I was questioned, that my daughter was the last one to leave. So I don't,
So you weren't trying to protect your daughter.
no.
You were forthcoming about always providing the troopers with information about the individuals who were present that night.
Yes.
A good question. Wait. I can do this. Yes, unfortunately. If you send me a screenshot, if you're in Aussie dollars, it is more. So $10 on the pay it, like when you donate to Karen's Defence Fund, it ends up being about $14 Australian. So if you want to do $10 Australian and send me the screenshot of that, that's cool. I can do that. Easy peasy. Yes, the conversion rate is a bit of a motherfucker for us Aussies until you get your payout from YouTube and suddenly you are really maybe a grifter after all. For all the hours I've put in and all the money I've invested in this channel, the payout isn't huge, but it is cool being monetized. Not so cool getting copyright strikes, but yeah, Aussie. It's in the donations are in US dollars, but if you want to adjust it down to make it $10, that's cool. Babe, just send me a screenshot of whatever donation you make, and I will get it organized.
Ms. Albert, you and your family discussed this case at length before your interviews with law enforcement, correct?
Objection.
I'll allow it. Did
I'll
you?
allow it. Did she
Of course,
ignore
we
you?
discussed the case,
Of course we did.
just everything that was going on. We were trying to figure out what happened.
No, she has not.
And you testified that you spoke to Trooper Proctor on February 3rd, 2022. Is that correct?
No, they're not necessarily bumper stickers, though. I produced them to be that size, so they could be more than just a bumper sticker. In fact, I think Ernie has hers on one of her tumblers. I know one of my moderators, Law Nerd Amber, has hers on her laptop. So they're a more versatile size that could be anywhere. Plenty of people have them on their cars, also. So they're a good size, and you know, I call them a vinyl sticker now. They're not flying out the door because I don't have all the time in the world to continually promote it. But I try to remember, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool sticker. Come on now, help a shorty out.
Correct.
Yes.
That would be 6 days after this occurred. Is that right?
Yep.
And that's the very first time that you were ever interviewed by
Adam?
Massachusetts State Police.
No, not a
Yes.
good call,
Yep.
Tom. Bad
Aside
call.
from
Bad
that
call.
Sort of conversation you described with Sergeant Lang.
Yeah. Yep.
When you spoke to Trooper Proctor on February 3rd, 2022, you left a lot of names out of individuals who were present at your house on the morning of January 29th, 2022. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure who was left out.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor that your son, Brian Albert Jr., was home that night?
Was home the night of his birthday, or what do you mean?
Yes, the night of his birthday.
Well, yeah, he was home with his friends.
Did you tell that to Trooper Proctor?
I assume I did.
I can't imagine that.
So if it wasn't in his report, that would have been his mistake?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor your daughter, Caitlin Albert, returned home with you after the waterfall?
I believe so.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor that your son had 2 female friends at your house when you arrived?
I believe so.
And notably, did you tell Trooper Proctor that Colin Albert was present at your house?
You know, I probably didn't, because anytime I was questioned about who was there, to me it was
Yikes,
who
guys.
was there afterwards.
Be cool. Be
hanging
cool.
out from like the 12:15 point on. I didn't consider Colin as being there because I literally crossed paths with him. He left, and I didn't consider him being a part of the group that was there.
Were you asked?
Everyone take a
who was
breath.
at the house that night?
Everyone take a breath.
I
We're
assume he
all
asked that,
friends here.
but I also
Shorties.
didn't mention the people that my son had previous.
Wait.
Because I didn't consider.
Okay. No one be beefing in my chat. And it's very easy to misinterpret tone in chat when we're typing things and we're forgetting punctuation and we're doing things. Prince Lover's lovely. The end. You're all lovely, shorties. We be loving on each other, not hating. No beef, unless Turd Ferguson's still in the house, in which case we might be beefing a bit, but that's just because she's got beef with beef. I'm trying to rewind it a tiny bit, and I just can't. Yeah, I can do anything. Give me a problem I can't solve. Okay, another dirty pause for Nicole. Sorry, babe.
Ms. Albert, you and your family discussed this case at length before your interviews with law enforcement, correct?
Objection.
I'm so far behind in chat.
I'll allow
Lord.
it.
Oh, well, look, I am.
Did you?
Thanks, Kat.
Of course, we discussed the case, but just everything that was going on. We were trying to figure out what happened.
And having a knees, mom. I can't say it. Got the membership. Congratulations. Oh, my
And
goodness.
you testified that you spoke to Trooper Proctor on February 3rd, 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank
That would be
you.
6
Good
days
night.
after this occurred.
It's late, I know.
Is that right?
Yep.
And that's the very first time that you were ever interviewed by Massachusetts State Police.
Yes.
Thanks,
Yep.
Chloe.
Aside from that sort of conversation you described with Sergeant Lang.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God, I'm so far behind in chat. Guys.
When you spoke to Trooper Proctor
Guys,
on
guys,
February
guys.
3rd, 2022.
Time
you left
out.
a lot of names out of individuals
Don't worry about
who were
it.
present at your house on the morning of January 29th, 2022. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure who was left out.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor that your son, Brian Albert Jr. was home that night?
No, Vermont.
Was home the night of his birthday, or what do you mean?
Yes, the night of his birthday.
Well, yeah, he was home with his friends.
Did you tell that to Trooper Proctor?
Let's pay attention.
I assume I did.
Wait.
So if it wasn't in his
Let's just take a moment. Let's just take a moment to reset. I'm going to get that back a tiny little bit. Let me just do one thing. Everyone take a deep breath. We're all on the same side of everything. We don't be having no beef in chat. Okay? Please? I love you. Mwah. Love your faces.
Ready for the road less traveled? Join Adam Drives Helen on YouTube, where van life meets personal growth. And mysteries of the world come to life. Explore the unknown. Subscribe now. Adam Drives Helen, adventure, growth, and the unexplained.
That's my guy.
refreshed.
Yep.
Isn't it true that you told Sergeant Link that your daughter left at 12:15 on January 29th?
Do not recall saying that. I've maintained in every interview testimony I've had that she was the last to leave.
Okay.
So
I went back a little bit.
I don't
Let's
know,
focus.
It was very confusing that
Let's
morning.
focus.
Officer Link was trying to ask everybody, where had you been? Where had you been? When did you get here? When did you leave? I don't know if somehow it was misconstrued, but I've always maintained that Caitlin was the last to leave.
Understood. And that's because Sergeant Link was talking to everyone at the same time, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting around the table. It was a little, everyone was, we're
It
all
was
in
a little
shock, and
sus.
It was a little confusing.
It's
Sus.
more of a conversation than an interview. Is that right?
Correct.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah,
Which she did. Amazing creator, amazing channel, amazing live streams, amazing person. Subscribe to Adam Drives Helen.
Ms. Albert, do you deny saying that to Sergeant Link?
I don't believe I said that. I think maybe someone was saying, oh, Jen and Matt got there at 12:15. He misunderstood. It got misconstrued later in his notes. But I've always said, in any other time I was questioned, that my daughter was the last one to leave. So I don't.
So you weren't trying to protect your daughter?
No.
No.
You were
Why would I?
about always providing
It's crazy.
with information about the individuals who were present that night.
Yes.
Facts.
Ms. Albert, you and your family discussed this case at length before your interviews with law enforcement, correct?
Objection.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Did you?
Did you ignore?
Of course, we discussed the case,
Of course.
but just everything that was going on. We were trying to figure out what happened.
And you testified that you spoke to Trooper Proctor on February 3rd, 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
That would be 6 days after the
Very interesting,
right?
wasn't it?
Yep.
And that's
Isn't
the
it?
very first time that you were ever interviewed by Massachusetts State Police.
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Aside from that sort of conversation you
You
described.
get a sticker.
Yeah.
You get a sticker.
Yep.
DM me your details and the
When you
screenshot of
spoke
your
to
receipt, and
Trooper
I'll send you a
Proctor
sticker.
on February 3rd, 2022, you left a lot of names out of individuals who were present at your house on the
Fair.
morning of January 29th, 2022. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure who was left out.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor that your son, Brian Albert Jr., was home that night?
Was home the night of his birthday, or what do you mean?
Yes, the night of his birthday.
It's a
Oh,
beef-free
yeah, it was-
zone. No beef.
He was home with his friends.
Did you tell that to Trooper Proctor?
I assume I did.
So if it wasn't in his report, that would have been his mistake?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor your daughter, Caitlin Albert, returned home with you after the waterfall?
I
Caitlin.
believe so.
Caitlin.
Did you tell Trooper Proctor that your son had 2 female friends at your house when you arrived?
I believe so.
And notably, did you tell Trooper Proctor that Colin Albert was present at your house?
I probably didn't, because anytime I was questioned about who was there, to me it was who was there afterwards, hanging out from like the 12:15 point on. I didn't consider Colin as being there because I literally,
Oh, she's floundering now, isn't she? Yikes. Backpedaling hard. Yikes.
Crossed paths with him. He left, and I didn't consider him being a part of the group that was there.
Were you asked who was at the house that night?
I assume he asked that, but I also didn't mention the people that my son had previous.
In the Kerry Roberts stream we did in the last week, can't remember, time is a flat circle, but it's in my lives. We went into quite a lot of detail and discussion as well. I did. I'm here talking about the utility of the lie, of why it was so important for it to seem that Colin was never in the house, and Caitlin also. It's my opinion that Caitlin took Chloe. She and Tristan took Chloe. That's my opinion. The whole Colin Albert speculation, theorizing, is in that stream. So check it out.
Because I didn't consider them as part of the people that I was with when I got home.
You never mentioned Colin Albert to Trooper Proctor, correct?
Correct.
And you never mentioned Colin Albert to Sergeant Lang.
Correct.
Ms. Albert, you knew that if you gave Trooper Proctor the name of your nephew, that he would have to interview him, correct?
Objection.
All right, I'm going to sustain that objection.
You didn't want your kids or your nephew to have.
Ari, if you donate to Karen's Defence Fund, I have about 120 of these limited edition free Karen Reid stickers left, designed by me, vinyl stickers. You can put them wherever they fit, on your car if you like, laptop if you're Grant Smith Ellis, your tumbler. Make Ernie turned hers into a magnet. I think that was you, wasn't it, Ernie? So yeah, you can DM me, email me a screenshot of your receipt and your postal address, and you'll get one of these. Easy peasy. But that's that. And it's a good. You get two for the price of one. You get to help Karen with her defense fund, and you get a sticker. Winning, win-win.
To have to tell the police what they saw, what they heard, and what they did that night.
Objection.
I'm going to allow that. Is that true?
That is not true.
But you never told Trooper Proctor about Colin Albert.
I didn't mention Colin because I didn't consider him as part of the group that we were hanging out with after the waterfall.
Same, Ernie.
Because he left as soon as I walked in. I didn't even think of him.
Didn't even think of him.
No.
Didn't think it might be important for the state trooper who was investigating this case to know the individuals who were leaving at the precise time that Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed arrived at the house.
Objection.
Sustained.
Now I want McDonald's.
Ms. Albert, what's the first thing you remember waking up to on the morning of January 29th?
My sister bombing into my bedroom.
Okay.
Again, this time not to shag my husband.
Your Honor,
Thank
you can
God.
approach.
Okay, approach sidebar or you? Okay.
Sidebar.
Looking for music that speaks from the heart? Meet Melissa Asylum on YouTube, where every song is a message of love, humor, and justice. She's crafting melodies to show creators how much they're appreciated, tunes to tell friends and family they're loved, and anthems to rally the world to help those who need it most. Join Melissa Asylum and let her songs inspire, uplift, and bring people together. Subscribe now and feel the love.
So Melissa Asylum is Turd Ferguson. She wrote the theme song, my intro song, wrote it, and AI produced it. Adam Drives Helen did the video for it. If you haven't seen it, it's on the start of every one of my lives. Amazing songwriter, amazing, creative, funny, cool chick. Very good with her AI prompts. She has quite the talent. If you would like to see cool content, songs, AI songs coming out almost daily, she's the girl. And if you want the video for it, Adam's your man. He's also my man, so you know. Pia said, oh no, Ernie says, Pia, I make all my sticker into magnets, cheap and easy. Yay.
So Ms. Little, we're going Ms. Little, we're going to mark what you have in your hand for identification.
Thank you.
They were, Linda. Heard knows her shit.
Thank you.
Robert, I'd like to show you
Um,
photograph which purports to be.
Just show her the photograph.
I'm not privy to that information. I think chat before said that Sean McDonough, DEA Daddy, has receipts on that. I feel like if Sean McDonough said it, it's probably true, but it's still, to my knowledge, not factual. But it makes a lot of sense, you know, that enmeshed community.
Ms. Albert, do you recognize that photograph?
Yep.
What is it?
It's a picture of my house.
Does it appear to be generally to scale?
Yep.
Do you recognize sort of the flagpole in the yard,
Yes.
the house?
Yep.
The driveway?
Mm-hmm.
And that looks
Yes.
accurate. And that looks accurate in terms of scale, correct?
Yes.
Permission to publish?
Sure.
Ms. Albert, where is your bedroom located?
Here we go.
Do you want me to show it?
Microdots image.
Yes, be great.
Amazing.
Right up here.
So your bedroom is in that upper left-hand quadrant, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The far left window, that's your bedroom window.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. The two of them.
So on January 29th, you had 2 bedroom windows on the left side of
Mwah,
the
chef's
house
kiss.
that were facing the front lawn where Mr. O'Keefe's body was
I
found.
hope so, Kat.
Yes.
Miss Albert. Miss Albert.
You're aware that Ms. Reed, Jennifer McCabe, and Carrie Roberts arrived outside your property around 6:04 a.m., correct?
Yes.
Did you hear any fire trucks that morning?
I did not.
Liar.
Any ambulances?
I did not.
You
Liar.
didn't see the flashing lights of emergency vehicles outside your bedroom window?
I did not. My blinds
Liar.
were shut. My curtains were closed. I did not see anything.
You testified the very first thing you remember was Jennifer McCabe waking you up in your bedroom.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, just to keep track, are we going to take this down now, Ms. Little?
Fuck
We
off,
keep the
Bev.
lights on. I just. wanna
Ah,
keep
she's
track of
awful.
that. Okay.
Bev, you're just a
Okay.
horrible person. Waste your skin. Here we go. Yes,
What time
darling.
is that?
I thought it was somewhere between 6 and 6:30.
She's losing her ever-loving mind up there.
May I have a moment?
Sure.
Sure. Bullshit. Hey, Nikki,
If I
good to
told
see
you it was
you.
around 6:45
Live.
based on video surveillance footage, would you quarrel with that?
If that's what you say.
Okay. Does that sound about right to you?
I initially from the beginning just said 6:30. I wasn't quite sure.
Weird, huh?
Ms. Albert, what about the 2 calls that you received from your sister at 6:07 and 6:08 a.m., which were answered?
I never answered any phone calls from my sister that morning.
Indeed.
You're aware that the
Anthony.
Celebrite records indicated that you answered 2 calls from your sister.
Objection, Your Honor.
The,
And 6:08 a.m.
the objection sustained.
Just doing hand cream,
Your
by the
Honor, may I
way.
approach the witness?
Okay.
I'm a fucking delight, Nicole. Oh, we're going approach again. Approach. Caitlin took Chloe home, yes. I think so too.
You could take a look at this report.
Put your readers on, Nicole. Same girl. I feel ya. It's the Canton Triangle. Canton. The Canton Triangle.
Ms. Albert, you received
If I could just see what's being shown to the
Oh,
witness. before-
Lally. Did I skip back?
Thank you. May we
No, I
approach?
didn't. Oh,
Okay.
we can approach Lally. He says, can I go out for a ciggy? I'll allow it. Okay, what have we got? Let me play something else while they're approaching. Let me play something else. What do we got here? Tiff Knox isn't still in there.
Looking for something unique to elevate your style? Discover Minx and Maven, your go-to Etsy shop for handmade jewelry that tells a story. From vibrant mahjong tiles to polished stones and gorgeous beads, each piece is lovingly crafted by Tiff Knox. Whether you're after a bold statement or a subtle touch of elegance, Meeks and Maven has something just for you. Ready to make your look unforgettable? Visit Meeks and Maven on Etsy today.
Tiff Knox, one of our beautiful family members, one of our siblings. She does make beautiful jewelry. So check it out. Use the code, I don't even know now. Shorty, Miss Shorty 25 for 25% off, and support a hardworking, pretty cool chick who makes amazing jewelry. Anyway, what do we got? It never ceases to blow my mind that this child got so out of pocket. Yes, Adam, same girl. Let alone even was a child. There is no way Officer John O'Keefe was hit by a car. No way. Crash Daddy said so. Our eyes tell us. Where did those scratches on his arm come from? Advertisement, yes. My guy Adam made any of the ads for our friends in our little corner of the YouTubes. So pro. I know, right? I'm a fucking professional.
So let's mark one for identification, please, Miss Little.
Madam Court Reporter being classic over there. Iconic Madam Court Reporter. Possibly.
Okay, and you can give it back to Ms. Albert.
Thank you.
And you can go back and ask a question, and
let's
see where we go
Same,
with this.
Tom.
Okay.
Same.
Ms. Albert, do you recognize this document?
Recognize it?
Do you know what it is?
Well, yeah, I see what it is.
Does it refresh your recollection as to the 2 calls you received on the morning of January 29th?
It says here 2 calls were placed.
Okay, don't read it, but you were asked a specific question. So if you could answer the question, please.
Does that refresh your recollection to the 2 calls you received from your sister on the morning of January 29th?
It's
She may
Groundhog
have
Day.
placed those phone calls to
Did
me,
'em.
but I never answered them.
You received a call from Jennifer McCabe on January 29th at 6:07:42 a.m. that lasted for 9 seconds, correct?
She may have placed a phone call to me. I never answered it.
Righto.
I never spoke to her that morning.
You also received
Absolutely
a second
not.
call from your sister at 6:08:17 a.m. that lasted for 7 seconds, correct?
Objection.
Objection.
Go ahead and answer that.
Sounds like he's passing a kidney stone,
It
right?
says that, but I never answered a phone call from my sister Jennifer that morning.
You're aware that cell phone companies have what are called tolling records, correct? That show if there's a voicemail or something of that nature.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Turn.
Robert, it's your testimony here today that you never spoke to your
I think that was in conjunction with Caitlin Albert's Life 360 data, which she was so flustered by when it was presented to her. And Bev questioned, of course. But so the idea is that that Caitlin came back to pick Colin up and took him to the walking trails near the high school, and that he then legged it from there. Yeah, who knows? But I think that's what you're recalling, my love.
to your sister that morning?
I never spoke to my sister on the phone that morning.
Who else was in your
Lies.
bedroom that morning?
Me and my husband.
Ass styles.
You
I fucking called
and Brian Albert
Adam the other
were
day.
Only 2 individuals who could have answered those calls that morning, correct?
There's only 2 people in the room, besides the dog.
And at 6:07 a.m., someone had a 9-second call with Jennifer McCabe, correct?
Objection.
All right, sustained. And
Ali,
you've got
sorry,
more
Ali
for
McCabe.
this
Yes,
witness,
my
I
bad.
imagine, Ms. Little?
Yes,
Yes, Your
Ali
Honor.
McCabe.
Okay, so we'll take the luncheon recess, folks. It's 1 o'clock.
Yes, my bad, team. Ali McCabe's Life 360 data. Sorry. They look very similar to me. They talk very similarly. They both got a husky voice, but yes, Ali McCabe. Colin's bestie, right? Let's just play a little bit more so we can hear the beverages. Jury out. We out. And lunch. Oh, wait.
Who could have answered those calls?
Oh, wait. What did I just do? Didn't I just go to lunch?
Who could have answered those calls that morning, correct?
There's only 2 people in the room,
Hang on.
besides the dog.
And at 6:07 a.m., someone had a 9-second call with Jennifer McCabe, correct?
Objection.
All right, sustained. And you've got more for this witness, I imagine, Ms. Little?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we'll take the luncheon recess, folks. It's 1 o'clock.
All right. Wait. Let me get through lunch. Sorry.
Goodbye.
Love you, Karen. Goodbye. You are unmuted. OnlyFans.
Eddie.
Thank Thank you, Your Honor.
Shall we continue,
Your Honor, before we
shorties?
start, Exhibit S, which was marked for identification, I believe the proper foundation is laid. I'd ask.
So let's not do that from there. Let me see it, please.
Sure.
Do we have S as in Sam, or X?
Identification.
S as in Sam?
Yes.
Yes, like a snake, Bev. Like a snake. Yes.
Yes. Oh, it wasn't today?
Why don't you come to sidebar, folks?
Sidebar. Liar. We heard Jen McCabe talk to you. Karen's phone was left in the car and she left John a voicemail that picked up Jen speaking to Nicole. Someone is on their way. Yes. Yes. Besides the dog, right? Who are you flipping off unwelcome motivation? Chloe didn't bark at the phone ringing? Oh, you're among friends, Kim. There are typos flying left, right, and center. That's all good. We get the gist. Yep. I hope Judge Auntie Bev has been on social media reading the comments. The public are posting about her biased butt. I don't know if she can see through her white claw delirium at the Cape. The data don't lie. People do. Aussie Insider has a great AI tune, but it's an earworm for sure. I have been here for 2 hours, but someone... Oh, you're not evil. Don't worry about it. Let it go, babe. Let it
The
go.
parties have stipulated that Exhibit X is a graphic representation of 34 Fairview.
Yeah, not a photo.
Facts.
Not a photograph.
Okay.
Drama-free
Sure.
zone. We're good.
Now you can
We
approach the
good.
witness if you. Oh, you just want to put it into evidence now?
Your Honor.
Okay. So that will be our next exhibit. Madam Court Reporter. Thank you.
We actually need it.
May I approach?
Yes.
The super chats autocorrected the
Ms. Albert, you
worst.
testified that Jennifer McCabe woke you up around 6:45 a.m., correct?
Sidebar, how embarrassing is it when you type out a super chat? I'm a big sender of super chats in other channels. You type something out, particularly when you're being particularly delightful, as I often am, or funny, and or just clever, or just like wanting to put forward a particular message. I sent a super chat in LV Cops. Oh my God. The typo, I didn't see it. The autocorrect. Ah, they didn't know. They just were like, what the fuck is she talking about? I'm like, I knew what I meant. Super chats are trying to get.
I believe I said between 6 and 6:30, but could have been
That
6.
was what woke you up, correct?
Yes.
She obviously had access to the house.
Yes.
The door wasn't locked.
Nope.
That's sort of a typical practice for you.
Yeah, it was just sometimes with the kids, the last one in supposed to lock it. They didn't, it just wasn't always locked.
And inside your house, you had plenty of blankets and other items that could have been comfort to a man laying in the snow, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor.
So as to that form, I'm going to sustain the
I know
objection. You can ask the question
words.
a different way, Ms. Little.
Oh,
Ms.
I
Albert,
can
you had
spell.
blankets inside of your house that could have helped someone who's freezing outside.
Objection.
So I'm going to sustain the objection. You can ask a shorter form of that question.
Ms. Albert, you had blankets in the house, correct?
Yes.
You were also lying next to a first responder
Objection.
at morgue, correct?
You can answer that.
Yes.
And neither you nor your husband came outside to help John, correct?
We did not go outside because we had no idea what was going on outside. We were sound asleep until my sister came into my bedroom.
See, that sounds like a lot of explaining
Okay.
for a very simple
Mr. Lally?
question, doesn't it?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ah, redirect. Fantastic. Brace yourselves. Lally. Lally.
With regard to phone calls from your sister Jennifer McCabe that morning, shortly after 6 a.m., did those phone calls wake you up?
No.
Did you answer those phone calls?
No.
Did you speak to Jennifer McCabe on the phone prior to her, or at any point on that morning prior to her coming into your room?
I did not.
And you were shown something that's a Cellbrite extraction report, correct?
Yes.
And not just,
So if you guys have ever watched the behavior panel, a non-contracted answer where it said I didn't or no, I did not is like, it's up there with absolutely not. I did not. Most people don't say I did not. And it's depending on the baseline of the person, but that is generally, it's not common vernacular to say I did not. Methinks the lady doth protest too much, yeah?
that specific one, but have you ever seen any Cellbrite extraction report before in your life?
No.
So fair to say you don't know how to interpret the data that's on there?
No.
Fair to say that you don't know whether or not an answered call or something that's listed as answered was something that was actually answered or went towards.
Correct.
Now, with regard to your dog, Chloe,
So
following
bad.
that incident in May of 2022, what, if anything, did you and your husband do with regard to the person that had been bitten?
Well, we had gone over to their house to apologize for what had happened and, offered to pay any bills, that they may have had for any injury to the dog or anything. And then after that, we just decided that we thought the best thing to do would be to try to rehome it because
Apparently my dog barks all day long, Ernie, so I've learned. And maybe I should get my dog some toys or something to chew on. Okay, thanks, Karen, not Reed. I don't want my dogs to be distressed through the day, but Ernie, if your dog doesn't bark, my dogs don't bark when I'm home either. They're just missing me. Anyway, sidebar.
I just didn't want something like that to happen again.
And can you explain to the jury sort of what are the steps that you took in the process of rehoming your dog?
Well, initially I had called a bunch of shelters and they were pretty much telling me that it would be hard to rehome her if she was dog aggressive and they would probably have to put her down. I didn't want to do that. The family, we love the dog and
The dog.
so I did not want to do that. So I reached out to the woman in Texas who we got the dog from to see if she could help. And she said, she couldn't take it back, but she would try to help me out. So she ended up finding a woman who lived in Vermont. I think she lived alone. She had big property. It seemed like a good fit. She wanted to take Chloe and we made arrangements and I went and met this woman halfway and I gave her Chloe.
And what, if any, conversations or contact?
No, they're just both highly needy, highly anxious, much separation anxiety. I got a second dog. I got Buster to keep Poppy company, to stop the destruction, and so they'd have a couple of friends. They'd have each other. What I've got is two crazy dogs who I love more than life itself, who I worry about all day long because I know that they're both very anxious. They just want their mum to be home with them, and I would like nothing more than to be home with them. They don't bark. They're very placid, lovely dogs, but when I'm gone from the house and I work 45 hours a week, apparently they bark, and I appreciate the neighbor telling me that this is the case because I'm not here, so I don't know. But how about you leave out the suggestions about to be fair, I haven't been making the time to take them for enough walks. So I went for a walk this morning and made my morning more hectic than it normally would be, but that's on me. I need to take my dogs for walks every day. So they've got that in their brains the sniffing smells to dream about, but they have so many toys. They're scattered everywhere. They have deer antlers. They have chew toys. They have my best Adidas shoes that they chew the walls, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Contact have you had with that woman in Vermont since rehoming your dog?
For a few months after
Objection, Your Honor.
So not the substance of it, but
Have you had contact with the woman in Vermont?
Yes, I did for a few months, back and forth.
Now, with reference
Chew
to
toys.
Chloe, when
Chew.
your
Yes,
sister
agreed.
Jennifer McCabe comes into your bedroom hysterical that morning of January 29th, was Chloe in the room at the time?
Yes.
Now, you were asked some questions about the evening or the early morning when people had come from the waterfall back to your home, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you were cleaning and Mr. Higgins and your husband were out of your line of sight, is that correct?
Yes.
How long a period of time were we talking?
I wasn't very long, a couple minutes. I wasn't watching where everybody was and what everybody was doing.
Fair to say, relatively short period of time.
Yes.
I have nothing further.
okay.
Briefly, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Liza, let's do it.
So you need to take this down, sir. Thank you.
Sir, Lally.
There was something that was just up there. Go ahead.
Ms. Albert, you never received any voicemails from Jennifer McCabe on January 29th, did you?
Not that I'm aware of.
You also have never produced, pursuant to our request, any documentation about the whereabouts of Chloe.
The objection is sustained. I'm going to strike that question. Disregard the question. Well, questions aren't evidence, so we can leave it on the record, but the objection is sustained.
You've never turned over any information about the location of Chloe since the pendency of this case, have you?
Objection, Your Honor, may we approach?
I'm just going to
Ah,
sustain
Lally.
the objection.
Ah, for fuck's sake. Jesus, Lally.
Have you ever provided information about the whereabouts of Chloe to the Commonwealth in this case?
Yes, I believe I have.
You have.
I believe so.
When did you do that?
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Yes, Bev says yes, God, please, approach. Yeah, I mean, I think that Nicole can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but at the end of the tunnel, there is big bad Brian A waiting for her when she gets home. I do not envy her. I think that Julie was talking about Chloe. Yeah, if the vibe in the house is stressful, even for Tom, for your dog, previously, that, you know, PTSD. I think that Julie was talking about Brian Albert, not your dog. My dogs wouldn't hurt a flea, but you wouldn't know that. Apparently, if they're barking, they even my puppy even loves when my cat Tim catches a mouse and it's still running around, and Poppy like wants to play with the mouse, not to eat it. And then when the mouse dies, because cats, and Poppy's like, "What? I want to play with it." Yes, that's what I thought. Steph, babe, yes, Chloe is definitely on a farm in Vermont. She's not over the rainbow. Can you imagine if they asked about Chloe's chew toys, though? Lally would probably object to that too, or Bev would give him a little objection. Is there something you want to object to, Mr. Lally? Lally? Yes, sorry, I'm just busy reading and not reading it out loud. All right, poor Craig. Do you think he just had some yearning for a decent sized table? We're on the home stretch. This is obviously the last little bit, and then we will be able to say good night. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me, chat, tonight. I know it's a late one. I worked the overnight shift last night. It's 20 to 4 p.m. on Friday here, but for me to be able to not feel exhausted, we started late tonight.
No further questions.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Ms. Albert, you are all set.
Thank you.
You are all set. And that, Madam Court Reporter,
Your
being
next
iconic.
witness, Mr. Lally?
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth call, excuse me, Mr. Brian Albert to the stand.
Oh, well, we won't do that now, but we will one day, I guess. Absolutely. Yeah, Tom, I think that, hang on, stop sharing screen. I do believe that, well, this dog saliva test weight, that was off the analysts were given swabs that were swabbed by whoever, MSP, whoever. And so we don't know from what garment were the swabs were taken. It was just pig DNA. Yes. She ran away, giggles. She was like, "Get me out of here," and out of the frying pan into the fire, I think, for poor Nicole after that one. Interesting. Oh, to be a fly on the wall in that household. All right, well, shorties, we did it. What do you think? I think that Nicole Albert is a browbeaten, downtrodden, sad sap of a woman. Unfortunately, it's 2 swabs across the sleeve, but how do we know? No, Prince Lovey, you're not timed out. You're good. You're here. We see you. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Mods, Ernie, Jess, Adam. I'm always forgetting someone. No, that was everyone who was here. Thank you. Ernie and Adam flying the flag, the pirate flag. Make sure you go on over and give Adam Drives Helen a subscribe, and Melissa, aka Turd Ferguson. Proctor said so. Exactly. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the gifted memberships. We got to 6,000 subscribers, team. That's pretty amazing. So cool. What did I have announcements? 7 p.m. Saturday. Oh no, tomorrow night. I think I'm going to do an Adelson stream at 7 tomorrow, and then at 9 there's a members only chat live, the good, the bad, and the ugly with Amy Boston talking. It's going to be a call-in show. Plenty of new members, so I hope you'll join us. Love you guys. Mod love, yes. Keeping it classy, always. So yeah, it's Camp Shorty all the time at the moment, which is fantastic. love your faces. If you haven't already, hit the like and the subscribe. After the stream is ended, if you could drop a comment in the comments, that helps get this stream out into the YouTube algorithm. It shows engagement, same as chatting. The algorithm, YouTube picks up on us interacting with each other and thinks, oh, people are enjoying this. We'll send it out further. So, but comments do the same thing. Steph's doing a dab here. Thank you, thank you. Let's hope that someone flips. I think it's going to be Sarah Levinson, if anyone. I think they've all got a lot riding on it, though. All these folks are deeply, inextricably woven into this story. So much still coming out by the day. 7 p.m. Saturday Eastern. Scott McGuinness, Aussie Insider, and Nurse Kim Lovey's panel show. What's in the Water in Canton is the name of that one. I'm rambling now. It's been quite the stream. Love your faces. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being fun. And I will see you on the next one. Mwah, mwah, and mwah. Hey, oopsies. Adam, where's the new one? There it is. My bad. I'm a professional. Yikes. Take two.
Our sister, survivor and warrior. Miss Shorty shows care and concern, broadcasting out of Melbourne. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away, 13,000 kilometers, never got it away. Half the world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next. It would be an easier goal to maintain the status quo, but sincere in their beliefs, for us to find our love and peace. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. They've been streaming for a while, and they know they make us smile. He knew love from 8,000 miles away, 13,000 kilometers, never gotten away. Half a world apart, but united in the heart. Both are uniquely complex, bravely seeking what's next.